Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
Good morning. Welcome to the All Sports All Place Network. I am Ray Cruz. Dre will be on momentarily here. So we're getting everything started back up here for the postseason of college football. We're getting ready for the conference championship games coming up today on tap. Oregon loses to Washington last night, 34-31, a great game there. So Oregon is not the Pac-12 champion. Washington Huskies is the Pac-12 champion for the last time for that conference, because that conference will be splitting up here after this season. Half will be going to the Big 12, and most of them will be going to the Big 10 next year. So that's going to be a realignment of college football. We got Texas and Oklahoma, the last of their stint into the Big 12, going into the SEC next year, joining them. Then you have SMU, California, Stanford, all moving to the ACC. I don't know how that's going to be, because it's supposed to be Atlantic Coast Conference, not the Atlantic Pacific Conference. I guess they're going to have to change it from the ACC to the Atlantic Pacific Conference now with the realignment there. So, I mean, it's not Atlantic Coast Conference anymore because, California is out in the Pacific. So that's going to be interesting to see how that conference is still going to be called the ACC, Atlantic Coast Conference. It's not going to make any sense with the SEC, with the teams that are coming out of Texas and California. So, the man, the smooth talker, the man of the hour, the man who is on the Who's to Blame podcast. It's my man, my big co-host, Dre Montez.
What's going on? What's going on, big fella?
Yeah, I know this season was kind of messed up with all the issues I had. So
it's all good. It's all good. We're back. We're here.
We're back here. We're in time for the postseason of the college football, going into the conference championship today. What do you thought about the Oregon and Washington game last night?
I didn't watch a Washington game all the way through until last night. I watched Oregon play a couple weeks ago, and I must say that was a well-played game. It was a good game. Little questionable calls offensively in the second half of both squads, but defense definitely was a factor for the Ducks. And Mr. Nix, hold your head up, man. Hey, that was a hell of a game. That really was. They were down 20-3 and battled all the way back. That was a good Friday night game. I enjoyed it. How about you?
I liked it. It was interesting. I did it for a different perspective than watching it on television. I actually listened to the broadcast.
Oh, you listened to it? Okay.
I listened to it. The difference by watching it, you can't persuade what you're seeing because you're seeing it through the radio announcer's eyes. So you can't make your own decision if they're bad calls or not. You just picture what they tell you.
Right.
And there were some plays that both radio. I listened to both. I listened to the first half. I listened to the Oregon play-by-play guy. Second half, I listened to the Huskies play-by-play guy. Okay. And both of the play-by-play guys were pretty much consistent in the whole game. There were calls on both teams that were missed, but out of that, it was all well-played game. But Oregon just couldn't come up with that defensive stop, that Lanahan wanted. But I think you got to give him another year of recruiting his style of defense, and then you might see that'd be a little bit different outcome coming up. But now let's talk about all this realignment stuff here on football. This is it. That was the end of the Pac-12, which they called themselves a conference of champions because of UCLA in basketball. But now half the teams are moving to the Big 10, the other half is going to the Big 12, and then you got Oklahoma and Texas leaving the Big 12, going into the SEC next year.
Right.
Then you got SMU, Stanford, and California all going to the ACC, which is ACC stands for the Atlantic Coast Conference. Now they're going to have to change the name to the Atlantic Central Pacific Conference.
Ray, I sense you're a little bitter about this realignment. You're not agreeing with it geographically, or just the fact that teams are involved?
I don't dislike it, but the geographic for the ACC is going to be different because you got to go all the way out to the Pacific. You got to go out to Texas. It's not in the Atlantic Coast Conference no more. It's not in the Atlantic part of the ocean. You know, that's where it was named after. It was named after the Atlantic Ocean because everything was on the eastern seaboard.
So now we got to change the whole acronym now.
Now we got to go to we got to call the Atlantic Central Pacific Conference. ACP. Not the ACC anymore. It's going to be the ACP.
Yeah.
But all right, let's talk about that a little bit here. Are you in agreement with all this realignment? Are you seeing what most people are saying? Because most people are saying now that they're not going to build. They're building a super conference within the NCAA. Some people saying that these super conferences are going to end up splitting from the NCAA and creating their own league. Do you buy into that?
I can't see how they can go outside of the parameters of trying to find and start their own league because we know how the NCAA is. We know for a fact what happened by the Big Ten investigation with the whole Michigan situation with Captain Khaki Pants. I think the realignment is for financial benefit only for the NCAA. I think that's why they're doing this. It's not for the school. It's not for strength of schedule. They're trying to get a competition going where that way we're not bickering as much as we're bickering each and every weekend when we're talking about these matchups, these bowls, the conference playoff situation, moving to a new format next year. This is kind of like what the BCS situation was to me. Stepping away from the BCS. I'm sorry, when the BCS first came into mention from figuring out who the college football champion should be. When the BCS first came in, everybody had all these confusion situations, but it's still, at the end of the day, the BCS got it right. And I think that's what's happening right now. With the realignment, the suggestions, the possibilities, and the implications, we're trying to foresee into the future, just like college football is, the powers that be. We're hoping that it doesn't turn out the way a disastrous form, but I think when it's all said and done, they're pretty much trying to put this in a way where every week we have a competitive matchup. There's no more Ithaca State playing freaking Florida State. Why? We're getting a decent matchup each and every week, and then when it comes down to the college football playoff format next season, it'll be a more believable sense of the 12 teams that get in. That's right.
I agree with you there, too. I think this is more financial, but also is deviating the more powerful of all three. Well, disbanding the Big 12 is taking them out of the Power 5.
Mm-hmm.
So now you got to figure out which your Power 5 is going to be. It's going to be the ACC, the SEC, and the Big 10, and the Big 12, the Power 4, really. Because I don't think the Pac-12 is going to be involved in anything. I don't think they're going to have any teams that be to replace with the teams that are losing. So, do you see the Pac-12 actually disbanding? Or are they just
Pac-12 they have a lot to offer. It's hard to sell the Pac-12 right now. It really is. They're trying to sell the Pac-12 based on the possibility and the believability of the incoming talent to be marketable to that Pac-12 as far as competitively speaking. And everything else, we can actually see that. With the Pac-12, we can't. They're selling us on the what-if factor with the Pac-12. And I like the Pac-12. I do. I think that's some great football. Trying to get it back to the days of yesteryear, we need to move away from that. The game has evolved. Everything is not shifted in one direction no more. These kids have an option of where they get to go. And if they don't like it, guess what? We have the transfer portal as well now. So I think it's up to the Pac-12 if they want to be sold as a competitive conference and get some real play out of it. It's up to the Pac-12.
I mean, right now you're looking at, you got Oregon State and Washington State.
Right.
two of the original teams still standing with the Pac-12, but they haven't come up and said what they're going to do with the rest or how they're going to bring in the rest. Are they just going to – I'm trying to figure out if I can find the article, what I saw the other day. Let's see here.
Yeah, see, aren't they paying money to play?
Yeah.
Like $14 million between the two schools. I saw that. I was like, wait a minute. That doesn't make sense to me. They're investing in themselves.
Yeah.
As a college, I've never heard that before. I've never heard that before as a college or university.
Let me see here. They got
some to see how that's going to work out right there.
See. The Pac-12 Mountain West announced a scheduling alliance a month after Stanford, Cal, and SMU goes to the ACC. So I guess the Pac-12 teams are going to play all the Mountain West Conference teams, I guess.
Yeah.
So I mean, you only got what, 2 teams?
And they playing what, 6? It's like 6 teams they got to play or something crazy in that mountain thing they're calling it.
Yeah. It's let me see here. It's now after these programs have decided to move on, the group of 5 leagues have begun to be affected. The teams left in the Pac-12 have limited options ahead of them. Here's a look at what happens, how it impacts the G5. Which teams are leaving the Pac-12? UCLA, USC, Oregon, Washington, going to the Big Ten. Colorado, Arizona State, and Utah have chosen to go to the Big 12. Then the news broke Cal and Stanford would be going to the ACC in 2024. That leaves just 2 Pac-12 teams. Who is the Pac-2? They're calling it the Pac-2. Washington State, Oregon State are the only programs remaining in the Pac-12. Some began calling them the Pac-2 when Cal, Stanford, and Wazoo and OSU, Oregon State University were the only teams left in the Pac-12. People refer to them as the Pac-4. However, Stanford and Cal are now going to the ACC, which leaves Oregon State, Washington State facing unclear futures. Both teams have seen some success this year and were both ranked at AP Top 25 at one point. Oregon State is number 21, 8-4, but they just lost our head coach. The head coach is now moving to Michigan State now. So he will be going to a new team, but going into the Big Ten. So he's taking over the issues at Michigan State there. Billy Buzz Smith says, good morning, gentlemen. Wally So it says, found you sweet. Yes, we're all over the place, man.
That's how What's up, Wally? What's going on, boss?
But if you hear at normal time, if we had a normal year, but since I had a lot of issues and stuff like that, we didn't have a normal year here. But we're back for the postseason. We're going to bring y'all up to date on that postseason stuff, how it's going. We're bringing up some alignments right now, trying to get Dre's point of view. You had my point of view last week on certain things. All right, let's talk about Texas A&M. The debacle at Texas A&M. We have Jimbo Fisher leaving. We had them go after Mike Stoops. Actually, the rumor first was going after Kirby Smart. That was the first rumor. That fell through. Second one was going after Mark Stoops. They hired Mark Stoops, but a fan got involved. Said he don't want to hire him. Told him a bunch of bull darky on Mike Stoops, so they took it back. Now I told the Duke players, if they ever come calling for Elko, the Duke head coach, he was leaving. Duke fans didn't believe me. Guess what? He's gone.
Leaving. He's gone
for Texas A&M.
Howdy. Is that a good move?
Duke fans. Now you got all the Duke. I feel you, Duke fans. I really do. I don't want people to lose coaches like this. But the way he told the Duke players through Zoom, not through a personal face-to-face meeting, through Zoom. That was the legendary thing that he did. He contacted all the football players through Zoom and told them he was leaving.
Uh-huh.
Was that the right way to do it?
In the situation with Texas A&M, we talked about this at the beginning of the year. I told you Jimbo stole the bag. He took that money from that school. He didn't do diddly poo while he was there. It has been a wreck show at Texas A&M probably for the last 6 years. That school has way too much money to be in the situation that they're in. Was this done the right way? I don't think this year in college football, anything with the administrative side in college football has been done right. Look at the debacle we just talked about in the Pac-12. You think the hiring practices and policies and procedures are going to come through with Texas A&M? No. Is this a good move for them? Is this the right coach? Or are they just trying to fill the void? To me, it looked like they're trying to fill the void with this hire. This was not a well-researched fit for Texas A&M. You got to get somebody that's willing to understand the new recruiting ways of the transfer portal, plus be able to recruit. You got to be sellable as a coach as well. What are you bringing to the program? That's why I met with this hire with Texas A&M. What are you bringing to the table? Boo-boo. As women always say, what you bringing to the table?
You know what Elko's done? Elko's done pretty good. Turned Duke around in his
It's
2 years
Duke,
there.
Ray. It's Duke. Come on now.
I understand that, but Duke hasn't won jack crap since, Steve Spurrier was there. That's when they were
Right.
actual. Then you had I can't think the other coach's name. The one that coached the Manning.
David Cutcliffe?
Yeah. He did something, and then they started telling off at his end year, and then Mike Elko came in and changed the culture around. Everybody think Duke was all happy and all that, but I told Duke fans from the get-go, and I told them on this show here, that if Texas A&M ever comes calling for him, he was leaving. Nobody believed me. But guess what? He left.
Don't you like when people don't believe you? And
Yeah,
then it turns
I love
out
it.
you're right.
Because you can see the writing on the wall. You know what Duke is. Duke is not a team like Carolina. I know what Carolina is. Carolina is not a national brand in football. I got it. They're more national brand in basketball and the women's sports.
Soccer, yeah.
Soccer and all that stuff.
But to your point, you're a Carolina fan telling the Duke fans something. So, of course, they're not going to listen to you.
Yeah. But as a broadcast journalist, I had to become a biased person because I have to talk about everybody's schools and stuff like that, So if you're looking at an analyst point of view of my point of view, I was bringing that as an analyst point of view, not as a fan, as my team. I'm trying to bring out the facts here that Wade Duke it's like Carolina was with Matt Brown. When Matt Brown was first there, Carolina was actually a stepping stool for him to get to Texas University.
Right.
I get that. And we brought him back. Duke fans clowned us because we brought him back. I mean, we brought him back because Carolina had success under Mike Brown at the term that he was there. He left on good terms. He didn't leave on a term like what Elko was leaving Duke right now.
Right.
Mike Brown at least told his team in person that he was leaving to go to Texas. We didn't like it as fans because we're fans. Now, my question with Texas A&M is, did Texas A&M front office listen to a fan, or did they just gone and stuck with Mark Stoops, brought him in as they were going to? Now I'll put you on the spot now.
I wish A&M would have waited until the season was over, like completely over. I think they went too fast. I like the Stoops situation a little better than this one here. But that's me trying to think ahead of the curve. I get what college football is trying to say. I get what Texas A&M is trying to do and say, but this is at one point, sometimes I think they need to pay attention to the actual truth of what's going on at the school instead of overlooking the school. Not looking at this. We're not looking at this from a competitive standpoint. We're looking at this from a student-athlete standpoint. I don't want to hear that. Do you want to win or not? That's what I want to hear. When you're going through the hiring process, do you want to win or not? It's not like playing on Sundays. Sundays, we got that weight factor. Oh, we can rebuild this in 3 to 4 or 5 years. In college, with A&M, the money that they have and the potential talent that's there, come on, man. You got to get somebody that's ready to go right now, and them kids ready to play for them right now. I think that'd have been Stoops.
Yeah, I look at it. I look at it two different ways here on this thing. I don't think a fan should be involved in a college hiring. I don't think a fan should be involved. I don't think a booster should be involved. I think it should be.
Now. That booster is going to be involved, but go ahead. I'm with you on the fan, but the booster, no.
I understand the booster is going to be involved, but still, it's up to the college to make that hire. But the college is going to listen to the booster. The booster is going to listen. But why the freaking college going to listen to a fan?
Right.
And especially in this day and age, that a fan can make up a rumor and put it on the internet faster than people over in freaking Mexico coming across our border.
That's not what I thought you were going to say. But the internet is always going to win. Fans are very influential in this day and time due to the pushback button known as the internet. Once they push send, there's no telling what's going to happen. And if you're a school that's not up in today's terms and knowledge, you're going to be way behind the curveball. And A&M is too far behind. I think A&M right now is 2 years behind on college football, if you ask me. That program, I think you and I can put together a better winning program, okay, than what happened the past 6 years there. Let us hire our own coaching staff, and we got this.
Yeah. Now you look at the coaching change, and now you're looking at dominoes falling in the transfer portal. You got Leonard Riley, the quarterback for Duke, is now transferring out.
Uh-huh.
You got Max Johnson, who now transferred out of Texas A&M, committed to North Carolina, as opposed to be the pair Aaron to Drake May. If Drake May pulls out this year, we haven't know that yet. We don't know where the actual bowl game they're going to yet to find out if he's actually going to go to the bowl game or if he's going to pull his name out and go to the NFL draft. So he's in limbo right now. I think Drake May will play the bowl game. I have no doubt about it because Drake May is a competitor.
Drake May is on the phone with me right now. What's that? He's not pulling out. He's going back in.
I mean, I don't think he's ready because the way the season turned out this year for him. I think he still thinks he's still got unfinished business.
Want and that stock to rise.
Then your boy here, Billy Bud Smith, says, "Let's win some parlay." So you're the betting man. I wanted you on here last week because he was asking me about all this, what 4 teams he should have took and all this stuff. But I don't know how he did. But I gave him a little bit of advice on it. I don't know how he did on my advice. If he took it.
Did Ray increase your financial standings last week by his advice? By the way, we're not a gambling site, okay?
No, but you're the gambling expert on the analysis because you do a lot of these parlays.
I love gambling, man. It is fun.
No, Dre does not bet. Now, get it straight. Dre does not bet on the All Sports All Place Network. No. He does not bet on the All Place All Sports Network. He bets on his football team. So if he's not a Pete Rose gambler and stuff like that, so he will not be suspended from the All Sports All Place for his gambling activities. I'm just letting you know. We're different.
And Susan is here, my lawyer. She's here on site. Susan, you're recording all this, right? Yes, Susan is here. My lawyer.
So we do not the disclaimer here, we do not progress in betting. If you ask us a question, we're going to give our opinion, but don't sue the All Sports All Place Network if we give you the wrong opinion. Basically, it's our opinion, not the network's opinion.
Or I will say something about your mom.
Yes, we are clowns. Yes, this show is. We have comedian moments here. We have.
You have to be, man. You have
personal moments here.
Sports is comedic,
but Dre got his own podcast working on the outside of the All Sports All Plays Network. Dre can send out his link if he wants to promote all his shows. He's 5 days a week now. He's a big timer.
6 days, man. 6 days. I'm getting it in.
He rests on the 7th day. He's like God. He works the first 6 days and rests on the 7th.
There it is. Tomorrow's my day.
But let's get right along here. We got some games to break down here. We talked about the alignment. We talked about all the stuff the dominoes starting to affect. We talking about the transfer portal. We can do a whole show on the transfer portal. That's another day, another story here.
Don't get me started on that.
But we'll do an all-season show if Dre can find some time because he's normally on his vacation during the all season.
You gonna put the pressure on me. Huh?
I'm putting it all on you, man. I'm trying to make this show go all year round. You know, college football doesn't stop after the college football season. You know, you got the off season, you got the comedian moment.
I got to feed this thing, okay? I got to feed this. I have to recharge. So I have to take time off.
Oh, we can work around your time off. I mean, we can cut the time down. We can do an hour show here and there.
I'm trying to find me something hot out here, man. So I got to take time off, you know. I'm still single. I'm putting myself out there.
All right. Last night you had Oregon, number 5, Oregon versus number 3, Washington. Washington won 34-31. I know I'm sorry to bring that up to you, Anthony Price there, but that's okay.
Deal with it.
New Mexico State at number 24, Liberty. Liberty won 49-35 in that game last night. That's the 2 games that were played. Today, at high noon on ABC, number 18, Oklahoma State at number 7, Texas. At 12 o'clock, also Miami, Ohio at Toledo on ESPN. The Texas-Oklahoma State game's on ABC. Boise State at UNLV at 3 p.m. That's on Fox. Number 1, Georgia. Number 8, Alabama at 4 p.m. on CBS. SMU at number 22, Tulane at 4 p.m. on ABC. Appalachian State at Troy at 4 p.m. on ESPN. Number 2, Michigan at number 16, they're playing in a neutral site at 8 p.m. on Fox. And number 14, Louisville at number 4, Florida State in Charlotte, North Carolina, 8 p.m. That's the ACC Championship on ABC. Let's get ready. Let's break down the Texas and Oklahoma State game. What do you look at this game today, man? Texas and Oklahoma State. What do you see in contrast? Because everybody thought it was going to be Oklahoma and number 7 Texas, but somehow Oklahoma State got in there at 9-3 and 7-2 in the Big 12. So,
well, before I get into that, shout out to Liberty University. Liberty University. What a hell of a game. I love their student body. They've been kicking it all year. Undefeated season. On to Texas and OK State. The hype on Texas the past year after year after year is always what? The letdown factor. Texas has not been that great of a team since the days of Vince Young. Thank you, everybody. That was a hell of a squad. I don't know. I don't think Texas know how good they can be because I think Texas has gotten to the point of just settling. They're cool. They're comfortable. This is all they want to do. This is it. They don't know they can go further. And this is probably the first year since the years of Vince Young. Well, I can see they can take that possibility and go a step further. But OK State, they're a great second half team. That's the only thing I'm worried about this matchup. OK State, if they could start out strong and play that second half like they're losing, they could win this game. But they're 2 different teams in the first half and second half to me. And in this matchup, they know each other too well. It's a rivalry. It's knowing each other way too much. Their intentions, their intangibles, they know everything about each other. So whoever minimizes the mistakes, field of position, and time possession. Those 3 factors right there are going to be key in this point. But I can see OK State winning this game. But this could be a 3 overtime victory for OK State.
Yeah, I look at 2 different ways here, and in the same aspect as you. Here is Texas. Texas wants to run the football.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma State has to protect against running the football for Texas. I mean, if you look at the situation here is, if you look at, let me see if I can find the defensive stats here for Oklahoma State real quick here.
I mean, everybody's giving Texas so much, either a thumbs up or thumbs down for the fact that they beat Bama September 9th. Who gives a fuck? I mean, they beat them. Why are they being punished for beating Bama early? It's like the year that Florida lost to Mississippi State and Florida still won the national championship. It doesn't matter as long as you complete the mission. They're being punished for beating Bama early in the year. I've never heard such a thing before.
Yeah,
They beat the team.
they beat him on the field. Then Ura got hurt during the season. He's been out for a while, but their backup quarterback has come in and continued rolling the ship. I mean, they had that one letdown. You know,
Same thing happened to Texas last year when
yeah,
the quarterback flop went down. That happened in the Oklahoma game.
same thing.
It's the same thing.
But on the way to the 7th ranked now, Longhorns 11-1, 7 in the college football playoffs are the league's last hope for the 4-team college football playoff. Even if with a win over number 19 Oklahoma State 9-3, the Big 12 championship game Saturday, SEC bound Texas would still need a lot of help to make the playoffs. Well, let's take about a game approach here on this situation here. The third year, Steve Sarkisian said that there is no college playoff talk if we don't play really good Saturday and try to find a way to win. But they got to deal with Oklahoma State's Ollie Gordon. He is the breakout nation's leading rusher this year and is the Big 12 title game for the second time in 3 seasons. So now can Texas hold down the leading rusher of the NCAA, nation's leading rusher, Ollie Gordon? That's what got Oklahoma State back into this content of the conference thing. Because at first, Oklahoma State was getting blown up by teams that weren't even freaking in a Power 5 conference early on in the season.
You're right. You're right.
I mean, one of their losses came to a freaking. Let's see if I can bring that name of that team up that beat them. It wasn't even ranked, man. It wasn't even the. Oh yeah, BYU beat them. Oh, they beat BYU. Let me get their full schedule here. Hold on. They lost somebody from not a Power 5 conference.
At the same sense, doesn't it seem like to you or to the listening audience that some schools are given a break on their early victories or losses in the college football season, maybe your first 4 games? They don't look at it as highly.
Well, I like it.
November and December.
Yeah. They lost to UCF, which is a Big 12 school now.
Yeah.
45-3.
Man, that was ass beaten.
Yeah, they lost to South Alabama, 33-7 on September 16th.
Okay.
33-7.
Damn.
South Alabama.
And a 45-3. And a 45-3.
Yeah.
So if you're the coach, what you telling them in the locker room for the game today? Let those games go. We can't be that team that we were that day.
And then the last game against BYU, they won in 2 overtimes, 40-34.
Here's how I look at Texas. Texas can be this way: a high-scoring game, which I think this is going to be 3 overtimes, as I'm saying. Texas defense is not going to win shit. Let's just say that right now. Can we all agree? Yes. Yes, we can. That offense can score what the defense is going to allow. So it's going to be back and forth, back and forth, back. If the defense give up a touchdown, the offense is going to score, and vice versa. If Texas defense can show up and show out, okay, then I believe in the Longhorns. I believe in that. Until then, 3 overtime game. It may be a 54-48 situation, which that'd be kind of cool, though.
Well, you got to look at this, too. I mean, Texas lost B.J. Robertson and Roscoe Johnson were NFL draft picks last spring. Running backs was the big question for Texas going into the season. Became, again, a 1,000-yard rusher in Jonathan Brooks, but went down with a knee injury 3 weeks ago. But the true freshman, C.J. Baxter, ran for 117 against Iowa State, and Jalen Blue had 121 against Texas Tech last week when Savion Red averaged 8 yards a carry on 9 yards on 9 carries. So if you look at this, now they playing run back by committee for Texas because now you got Jonathan Brooks who went down 3 weeks ago. Not sure if he's coming back this week or will he be back in time for the bowl game or whatever they're doing, and if they make somehow miraculous make it into the playoffs. But they got a lot of issues. They got a lot of stuff going on. That brings up another question when we get to a certain point on that, when we talk about that segment here towards the end of the show. We're going to get your little opinions on the actual college playoffs, who's going to be in, who's going to be out, before it all happens on Tuesday after this weekend's games.
I kind of like the format of running back by committee. The defense game plan is out the window now when you have the running back by committee. At first, I was not a big component of that, but I think I changed my mind ever since I saw the Barry Sanders documentary. I like that running back by committee format, especially in college football. Especially in college football. It keeps the defense on their toes, and you always have what, kids? Fresh legs with that running back by committee. So if they can do that and succeed at it, that'll be a good look. Good transition with football.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, this game is going to be a surprise. I think Oklahoma State got better as the season went going on, besides that BYU game winning overtime.
Right. That was a wake-up game.
So I think this game is going to be a little bit bad. I think it was a lot of incentive by both teams, because you got the Texas fueling, but trying to win this game big, trying to get into the college playoffs. You got Oklahoma State saying, "Hey, this is the last time we're going to be able to play Texas for the championship. Let's have Texas lead the conference with the championship." So there's a lot of incentive, because Texas wants to carry that championship out of here, going to the SEC, giving them momentum going into the SEC. That's what they believe. So that's going to be a thing. I think Texas recruiting is going to be sky high now when they join the SEC, because a lot of teams want to go to Texas. A lot of players are going to Texas. So I mean, Texas got the money.
If you can't recruit at Texas, you're in the wrong job. You're in the wrong profession.
So now the question is, SEC is getting all the oil wiggers and all the Texas richness out of there. Now, since they're going into the SEC, a powerhouse conference where people think, SEC is a powerhouse recognition for football. Now they got the money. They got more money than Alabama got.
Heck yeah. Bama, look here. We all know, who got the money, who got the real plug, who got the money. Texas A&M. They got the money. They the plug to this whole thing. That's why this whole coaching situation, to me, they move too fast. They move way too fast. Way too fast.
Now we're talking about Texas and the SEC. Now the rivalry is going to come back between Texas and Texas A&M.
I hope so. That'd be real smart if they can get it back. Well, that's the thing. We always want how the games and matchups used to be, the rivalries that are forgotten. But they don't play the games like they used to. They're not.
Well, college football,
they gotta get their own.
Yeah, college football was made by rivalries and stuff like that. You know how we grew up in the 80s, going up into the 90s. Now everything's changing because of money issues and stuff like that. Everything is now, but
lazy-ass kids.
Money wasn't the focus point on college football. Money didn't come a focal point until the internet started coming around.
Right. I never thought about money in sports when I was younger. Never crossed my mind. Never. But now you got a budget.
Well, I mean, you got to understand, you got the gaming system came up, PS5, PlayStation came involved, started making college football games. They started getting involved. Money now here in the 2000s started getting, because now technology is going with Bitcoins and everything else, trying to replace the real currency with some kind of coin that you got to spend millions and millions of dollars just to get one coin, the full coin. I think it's like $37,000 you got to spend. You get the one Bitcoin. You can't even have your own whole Bitcoin for a decent price. You got to pay $37,000 just to get one Bitcoin.
I feel like one episode of Family Guy where Peter was grinding his gears. You going off right now.
Well, look at it. What we got to start doing, we got to start putting 3 PCs together. We can start mining our own Bitcoin so we can live. I mean, good God. College football.
I'm gonna give me an AI girlfriend. I'm gonna get me a 3D house, and I'm gonna be happy ever after.
I mean, they changed the Staples Center to a freaking cryptocurrency stadium or something out in LA.
It's like the movie Basketball is coming to life.
Here in Jacksonville, TIA Bank Field's now gone back to Everbank Field where it was before it became TIA Bank.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
They don't even know what they want to name the stadium.
Oh my goodness, that's too funny. You were too funny this morning.
I mean, look, you got just listen here in Jacksonville. We have the ViStar Veterans Memorials Coliseum. It's a bank. It's named after a bank.
Okay.
They just kept it used to be Veterans Memorial Coliseum, but they added ViStar in front of it. Then they got a baseball park over here. It's called 121 Financial. Then the pro football field is named after another bank. So I mean, Jacksonville is number of financial banking here. So I'm in like a financial city.
Ray, we lost 2 football teams here in St. Louis. Two.
Well, I understand that because they said they plan on concrete, it's like concrete, supposed to be a football field, but it turned into concrete.
They built a dome in the Midwest.
But I heard that you get tackled on there, you had to put Band-Aids on because they were coming up bleeding, feel like they were playing on street ball.
Hey, I think they did a rock, paper, scissors. Hey, who wants to build this dome? Rock, paper, scissors.
But they built it on the asphalt. That's what I heard.
Man, that dome looks like a bad garage in the hood, man. They could have done way much better. We screwed up football here in a worse way known to man. We lost 2 professional.
But you had a good season. Missouri had a good season, though. University of Missouri had a good season.
You talking about the Mizzou Tigers in Columbia, Missouri?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Collegiately, yeah. We do have the XFL team, the Battlehawks. They did good.
I mean, I know St. Louis is big for St. Louis Cardinals, but they had a down year too.
It's not been good. It's not been good. It's not been.
I heard I heard they had a better party than they had a better baseball game.
Oh, that was the hockey team, the biggest cocaine party ever known to man, legally on TV. It was funny as shit. We'll get better.
What are they doing? Sniffing out of the Stanley Cup?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Hey, if you come to this show here, you're going to get cracked up. I'm sorry. Sometimes we get off topic. Sometimes we get on this little tension, but hey, look, it's all good. It's entertainment. We provide entertainment on this show. Let's get back to the football here before we lose more people and before our big boss comes on the show and says, y'all need to be talking about football, not anything else.
Oh, my God.
Let's keep this show rolling here. Don't worry. We'll come out with some more side cracks here in a little bit. Never fails. You got 2 Navy guys here. You know, never fails.
It is proud.
Proud Navy. Proud military. But anyway, so let's finish up this Oklahoma State and Texas game here. What do you see in this ballgame? How do you expect to see? Do you see Oklahoma running on Texas defense? Do you see Texas throwing the ball all over Oklahoma State's defense?
As I stated a minute ago, I think, for one, I don't think Texas defense is like that great to be like a threat where they're saying, hey, Oklahoma State is not saying, hey, we got to watch out for this defense. I think Oklahoma State is going to take what the defense allows them to do. Now, if it turns into a turnover central, being greedy, doing things that's not normally done by the Oklahoma State's offense in this game, in this matchup, in this situation, okay, then it's going to look like Texas has the better defense. But if they go out here and play their game, their style of play, stick to what the game plan is for the day and what coach told everybody to do this week, I can see it working in their favor. But the way these 2 schools play each other, their tendencies and what they're known for and what they're capable of doing, I can't get over the fact of a 3 overtime game. I can't. High scoring affair. No defense is showing up for either side. It's going to be an offensive aerial assault and a little ground attack. I think the numbers are going to go through the roof for this game. I just don't see either team defense making a big stop. It's going to be an error by the quarterback or a running back or receiver trying to do too much, strip, turnover, differential of the game. I can see that happening. but no clear dominance by the squad. If it is, I'll be shocked and amazed. But I got Oklahoma State winning this in overtime.
This game is played at AT&T Stadium. So if you're going into Arlington, Texas, you're going into Jerry World, and you're looking for some beer, you better hope you got to go to Jerry World and buy your beer because there's no beer in 2 miles around that stadium.
What?
Yeah. You don't believe it?
Who would do that?
Jerry Jones has marketed the freaking entire 2 miles around that stadium. He owns the marketing. I went into a convenience store right down the street from the stadium to look for some beer for a tailgate. I had to go 2 miles outside of that line where the stadium is to get the beer for the tailgate because Jerry World, you had to go into the stadium to buy the beer. Because
can you buy beer at a college football game anyway? I don't think you can buy beer at a college football game, even if it's at a different location. Can you?
You can buy beer at certain teams are now allowing beer, like North Carolina allows beer drinking. Florida don't, I don't think. I think still Florida's trying to get that.
They're taking the fun out of sneaking mini bottles in. They're taking the fun out of underage drinking now. Damn it.
But yeah, Jerry World, if you're going to Jerry World and you're looking for beer, you got to buy the beer before you get 2 miles within the stadium. After 2 miles inside the stadium line, you're not going to buy unless you go to Jerry World. And they market their beers up to $15-16. So.
Well, if you buying beer the day of a game in college football, I'm going to call you a rookie. That beer should be ice cold, should have been iced down by Thursday because we're tailgating early.
You see, now you icing stuff down. What you do is you take your beer, you stick it in the freezer on Monday, let it freeze. Then you take it out on Friday to start unfreezing, put the ice on it. Then you go to the games on Saturday, and it still be ice cold.
Cold beer, I take two.
And then you sell the beer. Then you buy enough to sell to make money off of it because you got the drunkies walking around. They ain't got no beer with them, so you just sell them.
Whoa. No. You give beer away to people.
I sell them.
You give it.
I got to make money, man. I'm an entrepreneur.
That's why you gamble on the game to make you money.
That's a big risk. I want guaranteed money. Selling beer is guaranteed. It's guaranteed profit. You can buy the beer for $18 for the case, and you can sell the beer within that case of what 24. You sell it for about $5.
$5 for a beer,
yeah,
egregious. For a 12-ounce beer, egregious.
You think it's out? Go to VFW. They sell the beer for like almost $5 now. Used to be $2. You go to VFW, it used to be $2.
I'm good with the keg in the back of a pickup. Upset doing keg stands. Those are fun. I miss doing keg stands. I miss it. Yeah,
you're the one of the ones that do it. That's my cousin right there. So, but anyway, if you look at it this way, you're one of the guys that take the freaking bong, go off to about the 12th floor, and let somebody put the beer down the bong and you drink it.
Oh, you said a beer bong. I thought you said a marijuana bong. I was about to say
beer bong.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't partake in that other activity. Hey, Billy, see, look, here he does it. Look, I've been to concerts where I sell cans of beer for $5, waters for $2, and I made a killing.
See, that's a concert. That's different. At a football game, I got beer left over. Well, that probably would never happen. So I can't play this scenario.
You can't.
All my shit gone.
I don't know why you're trying to play because Navy folks ain't gonna have no beer left over.
No, none. All alcohol and food gone. Gone. That's no. I've never been to a tailgate situation, especially a football game, where there was beer left over, or there was liquor left over.
I give it some of the Gator fans. You walk around the Georgia-Florida game, and you ain't got no beer in your hand. They're gonna put beer in your hand.
Hell yeah!
It's just gonna be.
That's called gamemanship. That's called good morning. It's how are you doing today, Dre? Top of the morning to you, sir.
But I gotta
treat somebody a beer.
I gotta do this to the Georgia fans real quick.
Uh-oh.
I was walking around the stadium with my Atlanta Braves hat on.
At a football
Braves
game.
fan.
Foul, number one. Go ahead.
I had a Georgia fan come up and said that I'm in the wrong game because I had an Alabama hat on.
Oh.
Now get this. Alabama's what? Burgundy, red. Atlanta Braves is not burgundy, red. Atlanta Braves ball cap is red and blue with a blue A on it. That's the cap I had.
Did you correct the fan?
And on the back, it had a freaking MLB for Major League Baseball emblem on the back. And he walked up from behind me.
Well, I got to throw a flag on you for wearing a baseball hat to a football game, for one.
Well, I'm not a Florida Gator fan. 2, I'm not a Georgia fan. So I just wore the Atlanta Braves hat.
You should have wore a Carolina hat.
No, but I did wear my tattoo, so I couldn't take that off.
You're just trying to bring out the gun show.
Let's see, Buzz. Anyway, I need advice on a 3 to 4 teams. All right, man. Here you go. This is my man. That's why I tried to get you to come on last week, Dre, to help this guy out. What 3 of the 4 teams today should he bet on?
What are the 3
I'm gonna give you the lines.
What are the options?
Here you go. I'm gonna give you the lines. Texas is a 15-point favorite. Over and under is 55.5. So in this game here, who should he take if he wants to bet on the Oklahoma and Texas game?
I don't like that line. I don't like that 14 points. I don't like that at all. I like that over under at 55. I'm definitely taking the over in that.
All right. There you go, Billy. On your team, on your 3 to 4 team, if you're taking the Oklahoma State and Texas game, you say you should do the over on that game, correct?
Doing the over.
There you go. That's one advice. So if you're doing the under and over on this parlay, whatever team, if you're taking the point spread, now on the point spread, should he take Texas in 15?
I don't like that. No, I don't like that point spread.
So he should take Oklahoma against the point spread.
Yeah.
There you go. So his advice is you're doing by the point spread, you take Oklahoma in the point spread.
But I would do the over-under if I was betting on
State.
that. I would do the over-under and do the over.
And if you're doing the over and under, 55.5, he wants you to go over. So there you go. All right. Well, we'll keep bringing it up to date for you, Buzz, on here. That's one team right there. If you want to take that 3 out of the 4 teams, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games we got to talk about here. So there you go. So right now, if you want to take that one, stay with the show here. We'll get you into the thing before the game so you can make your bets. Because I know they call off the betting at certain times. All right, Miami, Ohio, and Toledo. This is at Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. This is the MAC championship game. Who do you like, and why do you like the team you're about to say?
I like Miami of Ohio because I like the players they get with that school. They seem to find the people that's with that program and put quality wins together each and every year. I like the execution of their plays. They're not overzealous on anything, and they don't take anything for granted, meaning field position. And they usually win the turnover battle as well. I like Miami of Ohio. I like them a lot. But Toledo can light it up too, though. They got some good receivers.
So, listen here. Dre has made the decision before I even read the matchup predictor from ESPN. I always read that to give Dre a better job. He did this before I even said this. Do you know 39.8% of the people is picking Miami of Ohio, but 60.2% is picking Toledo? So Dre is going with the underdog masses here with everybody else with 39.8%. Dre has now put his percentage in there, so it's now 40.8% for Miami, Ohio. Opportunity to beat Toledo. But if you look at this, Finn is having a better season at quarterback than Gilbert for Miami, Ohio. Finn is 2,384 yards, 21 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. But Gilbert doesn't throw too many interceptions. He's thrown 5 this year, 14 touchdowns. He has 1,634 yards out of 111 to 187 attempts, 162 carries, though. This is the difference. Toledo has a running game also with the passing game. Boom. 183 carries for 1,359 yards, 15 touchdowns. To Amos, who has 162 carries for 821 yards and 10 touchdowns for Miami, Ohio. But if you look at the receiving core, they have a better receiver in Miami, Ohio, with 36 receptions, 625 yards, 6 touchdowns. To Newton, who only had 43 receptions, 570, but he has more touchdowns than the leading receiver for Miami, Ohio, with 9. So with all that take, you still sticking with your you gonna stick with your guns in this one?
Yeah, I'm sticking with Miami of Ohio. I'm sticking with them on this.
Well, I'm not gonna go with you in that way. I'm going with the masses. I think Toledo is gonna bring the rocket ship. I think we're gonna have a rocket game here. But if you're looking at the over and under in this ball game here, is Toledo is favored by 7 points. You take Toledo in the point spread, or you take Miami against the point spread.
What's the over-under?
The over and under is 43.5. Now listen up, Buzz. This might be a lock for you right here. This might be a lock. This might be one of your games you should take. Could be. Drum roll. The anticipation is building. Let me do this. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up to the 18th hole is Dre. He is now bringing down the total here. The people are waiting. The drum roll has been played. Buzz is sitting on the edge of his seat to find out what Dre is going to say about this line today on the Toledo. Does he take Toledo in this game as one of his 3 or 4 as a lock? Can Dre parade? The pressure is on Dre.
Oh, man. I'm going with the under in this. Under 43 points.
You have it. He has now gone under. So if you're doing the over and under there, Buzz, you want to take the under. Now, do you take Toledo in the 7 points, or do you take Miami, Ohio against the point spread? This is the parlay that he was talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. Buzz. 3 out of the 4 teams he's trying to figure out.
Like I said, man, I like the over and under over the points in these matchups today. I looked at them all. All of them screaming over under to me instead of the points, other than that Michigan Iowa game. But I would do Toledo plus the 7.
Buzz, take Toledo plus the 7. You got it. Take Toledo plus the 7. All right, man. There you go. You like that, didn't you? You like that golf talk?
Golf talk on the back 9.
Yeah, my cousin said Tar Heels all the way, bro. Yeah, Tar Heels all the way.
Are they even playing today?
No.
Then what's he talking about?
Oh, they playing basketball today.
Oh, hell, man. No, I saw Carolina play the other day. They look good.
They're playing Florida State today.
Okay.
2:00. But it's football season, so I will listen to it, or I take the basketball games this part of the year. Now
this
go
is
back
the last weekend of college football, right? Of the season. This is it. Then we get bowling, right?
Yeah, no, we have the Army Navy game next week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You can't forget our game, man.
You
can't forget the service game, man. The most
powerful sell that to ever. Other stadiums, man. They should sell that. The Army Navy game should be able to travel. They should play it everywhere. It should not just be destined to one location.
All right.
Bullshit.
Let me give you my spill on this, and this is what I had spilled to the CNO when I was in the Navy, when I was stationed up in DC. I told the CNO that I think they should travel this game to every place that's got a military base, that's got a college stadium near that base.
I feel
even take it overseas.
It should be, everyone should get the opportunity to go to an Army Navy game. In my opinion, everybody should get the opportunity.
Now, I understand why they switch between New York, Philadelphia, New York, and sometimes Baltimore. DC is right down the street from Baltimore. Baltimore is a big NFL stadium. But, you come to Jacksonville. Jacksonville's got an NFL stadium. Jacksonville's got 3 military bases here. They got an Air Force base in Georgia. That's only a few hours, about an hour and 23 minutes away, because I drove it over there, took somebody back to that base on an Uber drive from Jacksonville. So, to me, they should bring it to Jacksonville. Jacksonville's got plenty of military here.
We got Bush Stadium. We got Scott Air Force Base.
Or you can take it to that dome stadium that you're talking about in St. Louis and let them play on the concrete.
No. Don't you ever say that. No. Would never advise anybody playing that dump. Play at Bush Stadium.
I mean, shoot, they should travel it. I like what you said. They should travel. Hey, Buzz even said, hey, you never been sent to Gridiron, Connecticut military base. Yeah, I've been by there. I've been on the base. I've been on their sub base. Trust me, there's nothing there to do on that sub base. Trust me.
That's how I feel about the dome here.
I have been by the sub base. I've been in the Navy Exchange at that sub base. It ain't nothing there.
That's how I feel about the dome. It's just a garage. They got a big old garage
with a football field in the middle. With a carpet. It looked like a football field.
I just want to know, who idea was that? Oh yeah, that looked like a great idea. Yeah, let's go ahead and build that. Let's do it. All systems go. Who was at the meeting?
I'm taking Toledo in this ball game. So yeah. But Dre said take Toledo in the 7 and you go under on this ball game. So if you're betting, man, take Dre's life because he knows more than I do about betting.
Oh my God, it's too funny.
Yeah.
What we got next?
All righty. At 3 p.m., Fox TV, Boise State and UNLV, the running Rebels. I don't know if they're running or they just moving. They're playing at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Vegas got all the fun. They had the game last night. Now they got this game.
Boise is favored by 2.5. Over and under 60.5. What do you give advice for this one? Is this a light game for one of his three?
This going to be a shootout too, man. It's going to be a high-scoring affair as well because UNLV, they can put some points on the board. We know what Boise State can do. They've always put points on the board. And this is just home cooking for the both of them. So this is definitely going to be over the 60 points for sure.
But it's going to be different because the blue field didn't travel.
Yeah. I miss the Blue Bonnet field. I remember they used to call it the Blue Bonnet Bowl back in the 80s, but I like watching Boise State play. I really do. They're a very fast team. They're not too disciplined on defense as I would like them to be, but they can put points on the board, which I like. And we know what UNLV can do. They can score points defensively, special teams, and offensively. They can hit you with that three-piece. This is why I know it's going to be a high-scoring affair. But I got Boise State winning this game.
All right. So if you look at this thing here, this is a tale of two different tapes. You got UNLV. You figure UNLV is going to be the more run of a team. Bring out the full court press. They are a better passing team than Boise State. Their quarterback has 2,628 yards, 14 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 185 completions out of 289 attempts. Their running back has only got 118 carries for 667 yards and 5 touchdowns. But the receiver, White, has 75 receptions for 1,300 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
But Boise State is a complete balanced team. They do pass the ball. The quarterback has 1,526 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. That touchdown turnover ratio is not very good. 109 completions out of 197. And then their running back has 182 carries for 1,109 yards and 13 touchdowns. And then McAllister, who leads the receiving corps with 47 receptions, 873 yards, and 5 touchdowns. So if the Boise State quarterback can not turn the ball over, they have a shot. But 56% to 44% has picked Boise State over UNLV today.
I'm starting to think if you don't turn the ball over, you have a higher probability of winning. I'm starting to figure that out.
But the question is, you got the ball hawking UNLV defense.
Yeah.
So if you throw the ball up there and this guy's not very accurate because he's got a 9 to 8, he got 9 touchdown to 8 interception ratio of 1. Jesus. So it seems like he's got a 0.5% chance of throwing an interception at every attempt.
That's not good at all.
0.5. You want to have like what? Three out of your 3 passes attempts, maybe you want to have like a 0.1 chance.
Right.
This guy's got a 0.5. chance. Every throw he makes, he could get the ball picked off.
No, I don't want that. That's too high of a probability.
That probability is a freaking astonishing. That one. I mean, the other quarterback he's got 8-1. So out of 8 passes, he might have a chance of throwing an interception.
The turnover train will be moving today in college football. It definitely will be doing that.
But this green for Boise State, every attempt, 0.5% chance of throwing an interception.
He better make damn sure that man is open. I'm open.
So, the football field looks pretty good inside that stadium, though.
Yes,
they got a better dome stadium than one in St. Louis, though.
Yes, they do. Now that's a dome. That's an indoor facility. That's a garage we have. That's a garage with carpet.
All right. That's not making fun of St. Louis Dome. I mean, they didn't hire the best ground crew. I mean, the best ground crew is in Busch Stadium.
There it is.
Where St. Louis is playing at. That's got the best ground crew. They should hire them to do the football field, too. At least the same company.
It's going to take no, not at all.
So what are you saying, Dre? They hired the prison correction center to do the field at the Dome Stadium, and then hired a great.
I think they did it themselves, and they used their kids to do that because that is no way that is a professional facility for a sports team. That is.
All right. For your homework, next week, we need you to go take a picture outside that Dome Stadium so we can see what it looks like.
No, I would not be taking that homework assignment. If that place, it's a sad story to me, man. It really is. They should have done better. They know it. You can't tell rich people shit though. Just like telling a woman with a nice ass something. Can't give her a compliment. She take it the wrong way.
So we got both. So you taking Boise?
Yeah.
All right. You taking Boise? I'll take UNLV.
Unloved. University of North. University.
All right, let's move right along here.
Las Vegas.
All right, the next one's the 4 o'clock. The CBS. This is played in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, where the Falcons played the SEC Championship. Number 1, Georgia, who comes in at 12-0, 8-0 in the SEC against number 8, Alabama, who is 11-1, 8-0 in the SEC. The only loss came to Texas early in the season. Uger is favored by 4.5. The over and under is 55.5. Do you want him to take this as a lock or pass on this game?
I would pass on this damn game, bro. I would watch this game after what Bama did last week in that Auburn game. And everybody's saying that Georgia doesn't look like Georgia from last year. Has Georgia really been tested this year? They haven't played a really true competitive team yet. This could be the most competition that Georgia faces all year. All that shit, throw it out the window. I think this is going to be one of the best games because I'm thinking that Nick Saban is finally seeing the actual light at the end of the tunnel, not the end of his career, but the college football game is changing, and he's finally accepting that fact. I'm not always going to have the best players anymore. I'm not always going to have the best team anymore. But what I have, I got to coach them to the best of my ability and get the best out of them that I can. And I think he's at that point right now. We saw the maturation of his quarterback in that loss against Texas early in the year, September 9th. 3 picks. 2 of those he should not have thrown the ball. He has grown since that game. And you really saw his growth last week against Auburn. Now, on the other side, they've been dealing with the injury chain, injury ball. That happens when programs really have a good team. But that depth chart of Uga may not be household names, but when it comes to talent and skill set, Uga has that. They have the hidden intangibles of the game, meaning they have a backup plan that could be a starter for other programs out there. That's how good and how deep Uga is with their talent. I don't want them to go into this game trying to prove to everybody, hey, we can beat Bama again. I want them to go out here and just play the game they want to play. I still think Uga's biggest test has been 2 years in a row, has been Mizzou. Mizzou has shown the weakest point in Uga. Hit them in the mouth and run the ball against them and wear that clock out. Other teams get nervous when they play Bama. They try to do too much too fast. They don't worry about the clock, and Nick Saban is very smart with using that clock. I like the matchup in this game. I like the fact the time is being played and the fact they got Brock back and what Bama has. This is going to be one of the greatest matchups in these two teams in quite some time.
All right. So now with this question here, I'm going to put you on the spot. If both of the teams lose, if Alabama beats Georgia, is Georgia out of the college playoff?
No.
Now,
if your first loss is coming in the championship game and you're the number one team, why am I kicking you out? Explain that logic to me.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just telling what everybody thinks. Everybody thinks Georgia will be.
We're not everybody. It's Ray and Dre. Why would
you? To me, I don't think Georgia will be out. I don't think Georgia will be out because it'll be only the one loss they had, and it was against a top-ranked team, a number 8 ranked team in the nation. Where was Alabama? Alabama's number 8 in the college playoffs bowl.
But it's the championship. Your first loss coming in the championship.
I don't see that knocking. Now, it might knock them off the top seed, but
they're still in the playoff.
If Michigan wins their championship game and Georgia lose, Michigan jumps up to number 1. Georgia goes number 2. Alabama will go number 3.
First of all, Michigan should be ranked number 1, not Georgia. Georgia has not done anything to prove to anybody that they're the number 1 team.
Now, if the reverse role, if Georgia wins, does Alabama get knocked out of the college playoffs?
Yeah, of course. Bama's out.
Because you know what's going to happen. If Alabama wins, Alabama's going to go jump up 4 spots to get into the college playoffs. They're going to jump everybody else.
But they're going to need some help. And the help came last night in the form of Washington beating Oregon. It solidifies the case that Bama really has to win. If Oregon would have won last night, they would have helped Georgia.
So
they would have helped Bama.
Right.
If Oregon would have won last night. Now they have made it impossible. So if Bama wants to get in, plead its case to the judge and jury, they got to beat the living shit out of Uga. They don't have to win by 7. No, they got to beat him. They got to bring the elephant on the field and stomp the dog, so to speak.
Now, will it be the same way though with Georgia? I mean, Georgia lost to Bama and to the SEC championship game and still won the national championship that same year. So,
yeah.
Do you see that scenario playing out that Georgia somehow loses this game to Alabama to try to get Alabama into the college playoffs, and then they just win the national championship like they did before? Oh, good. I know Georgia fans. I know. Smart has also came out and said they want to win the SEC championship and the national championship. So
right. I mean, that's it's a doable goal. That's the right thing to say. Everybody's back. They're healthy. Kirby has a good game plan. He knows how to play against Nick Saban and Bama. He knows what he's doing.
This is the matchup. This is the thing that I have never seen really in football. A tight end is a showcase as the key player for Georgia and Bowers, but the key person for Alabama is Burton, the wide receiver.
And the quarterback.
You got a tight end. You got a tight end and a wide receiver matching up as key players of this ball.
Yeah. Heck yeah. There's been some great tight ends out there that were very impactful in their college careers. So I don't have a problem with him being the key player for Georgia. I mean, who else you going to put the light on? I mean, he is good. You got to face it. He is real good. He's damn good. That's how Jeremy Shockey was. He was that type of a player. He was that impactful. He can change the whole game plan for you, especially if you're trying to cover him one-on-one. You have to give him double team. You have to. And if you don't, look at what could happen. So next man up got to be ready because they're going to double cover him all game. They're going to spy his ass the whole game. When you're the best, that's what's going to come. That next man up and that option has to be available. But you got to be able to spot that early. And I think these two programs are coached well enough and have the players to spot that with their football IQ. But I think this is the best game matchup. This is the best situation for both of these teams. But if Bama wants in, they must win. If Bama loses, they're out.
Yeah, if you look at
regardless.
Yeah, if you look at some of the situation here and you look at this thing too, I agree with you. Melrose he didn't look too bad against Texas, but he didn't look too great. But as the season's gone on, he's gotten better. But he looked okay against Auburn last week. He made that terrific play, to the pass to get the winning the football game was a great throw. I'll give him that.
That throw was
Carson Beck hasn't played all the way up to his potential until the latter part of the year. The beginning of the season, he was shaky. He has now turned his season around a little bit too. He has thrown 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Melrose has thrown 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. But Carson Beck has almost 900 and some more yards than Melrose in the passing game. But he also had more attempts than Melrose. Now, Georgia was known as what? Running back U?
Yep.
Well, the leading rush in this ball game is as Alabama's guy, 166 carries for 803 yards and 6 touchdowns. Edwards for Georgia has 147 carries, 781 yards, and 11 touchdowns. So the edge right now, if you look at that stat, the edge could go to Alabama and they're running the game and running attack. But Georgia's defense is stingy against the run. So would Alabama have problems running the ball today?
It's going to be a little stagnant in the beginning, but that's the one thing about these two great coaches. They're going to keep picking and pulling at each other, to try to run down a defense. That's a lot of times you got to run the ball. You're wearing people down. You're wearing them out. You're wearing them out. You're wearing them out. I don't think they're going to give up on the run, but I think to get it going early is not going to be as successful as Alabama think it's going to be because Georgia's just as fast up front as Bama is. Now, the reason on that running back U didn't come true this year to me, I think that when Uga realized they had the tight end situation in the receiving core they were trying to bring out, they kind of took away from the running game in the beginning of the season and tried to develop a passing game, I guess, to get the quarterback a little bit more comfortable in certain game situations. And it was working. And the run game kind of fell in the background a little bit. But now they're getting that run game back, trying to become that two-headed monster again, what Ugg is known for.
Now, we talk about we've seen some people say that it's going to be the matchup of coaches. And you agree with that comment because, this comment here, and then you came back and you said yes.
Yeah.
Well, the interesting tie-in to that point that I was going to bring into this tie-in, you're talking about playing smart. You're talking about Georgia has that. All they got to do is look at the coach's name, Smart.
Mm-hmm.
Smart. All he got to do is point to himself and put it to his brain. He's already said, I'm smart. You got to do what I trust my game plan. Now, with that effect is Georgia is the only team that I have seen played against Alabama, like you said, has not come in there scared because of the name on the jersey or the freaking numbers or the colors or Nick Saban. Nick Saban has an effect on a game when other teams come in. But I think you got to credit Kirby Smart because Kirby Smart came from that pedigree of Alabama, even though he played at Georgia in his college days. I think he went back to the Dooley days of football because Dooley was not scared of anybody. He didn't care. He welcomed the challenge, and I think that's what Kirby Smart has embraced. He has embraced his team, and the team plays and his moniker, which he brings in the brace of, being smart, being the best on the team. Georgia is the best right now. Do you say that the tide has turned towards Georgia a little bit away from Alabama the last few years? And if they win this game here today and they win the national championship, it would be the third national championship. Are we looking at a Georgia dynasty like they called Alabama after the third time Nick Saban won the championship?
That's a great question, Ray. Last year we talked about this as we were around the same time talking about the dominance of Nick Saban. Is the program changing? Is the tide turning? I saw the tide turning when it hit the recruiting to me about 4 years ago. I saw a shift in the verbiage in the way Alabama was not getting the talent they were accustomed getting, in the way teams were attacking them, not just in the SEC, but outside of the SEC, where that dominance was not always there. And then now, at the point we're at now, with the transfer portal and these new coaches right now, believing in their scheme and getting players that believe in what these programs trying to tell them. And UGA has had the ability to stay consistent for like the last 4 or 5 years in the product and the talent that they have. Only thing that's changed me is just the name of these kids, but it looked like it's the same type of player that they've been getting out there. And I like this program that UGA is growing on of the running back U. They're kind of like a blue-collar football team to me in the South with the type of players they've been getting. They're going to study hard and work hard and want to complete the mission. And that's what you want in college football. You want guys that commit to the program, commit to the plan, and here's the product. Winning some dubs, some championships, and national championships on the biggest stage right now, which UGA has their program at right now. So the change at Bama, yes, big change. Are they adjusting to it? Time will tell. I think he changed himself last year. After that Texas game this year, he changed as well. The way he develops his trust in his quarterbacks, letting them go off on their own, letting them fail the old Phil Jackson from basketball treatment that he gives his player. I kind of like that. But I like the believability in what Kirby Smart has instilled in his program. Look at where he went from the quarterback situation to this situation. That had to be a group discussion. Coming off that high horse from last year and to come into spring training this year, spring football, to get that team to where they're at right now. They're not as sharp and as quick as last year as everybody thought they would be, but that's still UGA football. And UGA is still doing what? Winning. And I think that's what they're going to do today. They're going to win today.
Now, you're talking about the Stetson Bennett and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can see what Carson Beck has done. You can see a little bit of what he has learned under Stetson Bennett when he was there.
Exactly.
And you can see what they have, what Mike Bobo has done with the offense coming back to Georgia. And when he left to go to Colorado State, now he's back as when Monken left to go to Baltimore, they brought Bobo back in as the offensive coordinator, and I think that was a smart move to my eyes right now because he's installed a little bit of more of a different kind of offense, but kept the same continuity of the running game, but now has brought Bowers a little bit more into exotic packages instead of having them line up. Sometimes they line them up at wide receiver, sometimes they line them up in the slot. Hell, they even line him up in the backfield a couple of times, and they actually give him the ball because he can run and he's athletic.
All right,
How does Alabama cover him? I mean, linebackers are good; they're fast, but they're not good in coverage. And Brock Bowers runs routes like a wide receiver.
Bama has a defensive end that tackled a receiver a couple of weeks ago. Explain that to me.
Freaking nature.
They have speed. These big guys on Bama up front have speed that is just, it is uncanny. And they are so agile. They are so agile. They're big and agile and fast. They really are. That's why I like both of these defenses, man. They both of them are very, very fast. And as Cassie Joe pointed out, Kirby Smart knows Nick Saban better than any other coach in the country.
Well, I look at it this way. You talking about they're fast and stuff. Yeah, they can be fast, but you're talking about against Auburn. Auburn wide receiver does not run good routes like Brock Bowers. If you run a good route, sometimes the speed is not going to help you because the route running is going to be so crisp. He's already got a step on you, and you got to chase him down. Yeah, they might be fast enough to chase him down on a direct line, but if he runs a good route to get him open, then you got to have some help. Because the straight line ain't going to help him because Brock Bowers is loose enough to where he can make it zigzags all the way down the field. So you're talking about that. That's a difference. Yeah, he might tackle a wide receiver, but Auburn wide receivers don't run routes like Brock Bowers does. Brock Bowers runs routes like a wide receiver, and he runs routes very well, almost as well that he runs what Marvin Harris Jr. does. I mean, he's not the same style as Marvin Harris Jr.
That dude there,
he runs. But he runs the same route. He does the same thing for this Georgia team. He makes big plays after big plays.
He does the same thing, but nobody can stop it. It's like the Utah Jazz, that pick and roll back in the day. You know what's coming, but you couldn't stop it.
So, I mean, that's a difference what we're talking about. Yeah, he can be a beast on the defensive end, chasing down a wide receiver. But you're talking about a person who runs great routes, who runs as a wide receiver and a tight end body, who's got speed. Don't forget the deceptive speed that he's got.
Hey, reminds me of Jeremy Shockey, man. Don't remind you of Jeremy Shockey out of Miami?
He reminds me of, I'm going to tell you. This is what he reminds me of. He reminds me of Shockey with a Olsen body.
Ooh, Greg Olsen.
Yep.
I like that. I like that. Sexy. I like that.
I'm telling you, this guy runs like Jeremy Shockey. When Shockey runs the routes as a tight end, very good route runner. But he has the body of Olsen, who gets wide open like Olsen does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Olsen was not fast. Olsen ran good routes.
Yeah.
He ran the routes that he needed to run in the route tree, but he was deceptive with his speed. And that reminds me of Brock Bryers. Bryers is going to be a great NFL tight end because he does so much stuff. You can line him up in the backfield, and you think he's a tight end, you're not going to get the ball to him. Next thing you do, hand the ball to him, he's going to broke 80 yards for a touchdown.
Now you give me the NFL owner some ideas.
So, I mean, now, how does Nick Saban counteract? Because they're going to be looking for him to try to take him away.
He's going to double him. He's going to spy. He's going to keep a man up top over him.
So if you do that, then you got to look over here. These unknown wide receivers in the last few weeks for Georgia has been outstanding.
Right.
Has been outstanding.
That's where the chess match comes in at right there, to me.
So now, if you take it away when teams are peaking, Georgia is peaking at the right time, at the right spot right now. The wide receivers are peaking. The running backs are starting to get going downfield. This is going to be a different animal that Alabama has seen in the last 3 or 4 weeks leading up to this ball game.
Yes.
And Georgia is going to be something that Alabama hasn't really, even though Georgia hasn't played anybody, but Alabama hasn't played this Georgia team either.
I'm wondering what game film for breakdown and for preparation that Bama used other than the matchups they had in the past against UGA. Because that same Bama team goes out there that lost against Texas. This could be a 55-10 situation.
You talking about the last few games against Georgia and Alabama? Now there's a totally different offensive coordinator.
Right.
And a little bit different scheme than what Monken has, too.
I'm saying what, for his game prep, did UGA use for this matchup? What are they looking at to find how to prepare to play this UGA team?
Well, to me, if you're looking at it, you can't use the last 3 weeks for Georgia because Georgia's been outstanding the last 3 weeks. If you use those, you're going to get your team. But if you want to find what teams did in the past, it's time to slow them down. You're going to have to look at the Mizzou game. You're going to have to look at the
Mizzou 2 years in a row and that Kentucky game. That Kentucky game
games you really got to look at. These are the games that Georgia had a hard time playing. And it was against teams that did everything right. They did the run, the passing. You got to be a balanced, well-balanced team. And Milrose, if he goes back to the Milrose at the beginning, throwing these interceptions, throwing it off the back foot, not making good decisions, then you'll see that little bit of a telltale coming in this ball game here. But for Georgia, what team? I mean, even though they beat Mizzou by 9, Mizzou was a good one. The Georgia Tech game, they let Georgia Tech get 23 points in that. So, I mean, Georgia Tech did pretty good staying with them as that. Tennessee didn't do so hot this year like they did the year before. Ole Miss was the common opponent that between Alabama and Georgia had. But Ole Miss didn't do too much against Georgia either. I mean, he only scored 17 points. He gave up 52. So if you want to look at it, the two teams are really Georgia Tech kept Georgia to 31 points and Mizzou kept them to 30 points.
Yeah, I would watch the Mizzou game film from this year and that the last 2 years Mizzou played them. And that Kentucky game, I believe, didn't they play Kentucky this year or was that last year?
They played Kentucky this year, too. And they beat Kentucky 51-13 this year.
Yeah, so that game last year against Kentucky, that's the one I would look at. Because that's when the NFL quarterback from Kentucky is in the league now. That game.
Now, this is what they look like against ranked teams this year. Missouri number 12, they beat them 30-21. Number 9, Ole Miss comes in. They beat them 52-17. Then they went to Tennessee, Knoxville at number 18 and won 38-10. That's what they done this year against ranked teams.
But Uggers on the off year because they're not playing the way they played last year, but they're still winning. Well, I tell you, fans and the media is something else because teams are not doing what they want them to do.
Now, if you look at Alabama, the only loss they had was against Texas. So I know Georgia's party looked at that Texas game, but that was at the beginning of the season. So what Georgia party did was they looked at the Auburn game, see how Auburn took the game away a little bit till that last second play that the Melrose made a great hell of a throw to in that corner to Burton. So
that's crazy.
Now, if I was Kirby Smart, what has turned Alabama around was Burton. You take Burton away, you could take Alabama's offense away. Because in the passing game, that's what he looked for. Burton is the get-go guy. He was the key in that win against Auburn because they kept him in the game by Auburn not double-teaming Burton. So if Kirby Smart goes in there and starts double-teaming Burton, they can make other wide receivers step up. They haven't stepped up all year. Burton is the only one that has stepped up really this year for Alabama.
The only thing they can possibly do, I think, is to hurry up Bama's quarterback, make him make the wrong decision, which we all know Nick Saban hates. He can't stand when quarterbacks make the wrong decision in their reads. And if that happens, which he did in the Texas game, upset. Well, it wouldn't be upset if Uga wins. Wouldn't be upset if Uga wins. But I got Uga winning this game. Not convincingly. Not an overtime situation. But maybe a 2-possession win.
Now, the over and under is 54.5. Georgia's favored by 4 points. So
yeah. That over-under, that's too high. I'm going up under that. I like those 4 points.
To me, I think it's going to be a little bit closer. I think it's going to be under the 4 point. I think it's going to be a field goal win.
Field goal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a close game, but I don't like either one of their kickers, so please don't come down to that. Please don't.
They ain't like Rico Blankenship, like with the glasses. This kicker's totally different. This kicker's not that good. Maybe he needs some glasses. Maybe that might help him. All right. Well, Dre goes and takes his little commercial break there. We had to do a little bit of a reassignment of our commercials. We were getting some copyright hits, so that's why you've seen a little bit different on the countdown. There's new music to the countdown until it gets to our intro. So with our camera roll stuff, it also got hit with some things. So we're trying to clean up some of the copyright issues that we are coming across here on the All Sports All Place Network. So bear with us. We're doing a little bit of the thing. So if you see me removing them, he had to go and take a quick break there. So, we older people, we got to take breaks. We can't keep going straight out through. So you'll see me on the screen. Good. You see my good looking face. I know everybody don't think I'm good looking, but anyway, still you'll see me. I'm here. So we're going to talk. We'll move a little bit along here. So a little bit of there. So Buzz, I understand, you don't trust this game. I understand that. So I wouldn't use this game either for one of my 4 out of the 3 parlays there. But you're taking that game away. So you might want to use the Boise UNLV game or the Miami or Toledo game or this SMU and Tulane game maybe, or this Appalachian State and Troy game. But number 2 Michigan and Iowa game, I don't know. That defense of Iowa. But no, Iowa don't have any offense really. So that's going to be a little bit interesting. And then number 14, Louisville. And number 4, Florida State. It's going to be a little bit of a different game without Travis Pryor there. We don't know how good with the quarterback situation is at Florida State right now with that nasty hit that Florida Gators put on their quarterback that replaced Travis on that in that game. So that's going to be interesting. So you only have a few games that you can really pick out of these parlays here. So if I was you, I might not take the bigger games. I might take the smaller games maybe. I'll get Dre's opinion on that on the smaller games. Let's move right along. At 4 o'clock on ABC, SMU number 22, Tulane. SMU comes in at 10-2, 8-0 in America. Number 22, Tulane comes in 11-1, 8-0 in the America Conference. This game is played at Yelman Stadium in New Orleans, Louisiana. It will be 68 degrees. It's not played in the dome there. This is played on the campus of Tulane University. So the line in this game is Tulane is favored by 3. The over and under is 47.5. So I'll get Dre's opinion on that when he comes back. Let's reveal some of this game stats here on this game here. According to ESPN matchup predictor, is 72.5% SMU, 27.5% Tulane. Even though Tulane is playing at home in this game and they are ranked, they give an advantage to SMU. According to the stats, SMU quarterback Stone is 206 out of 344 yards. 206 out of 344 attempts with 3,197 yards, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So if you look at Pratt for Tulane, he's on 164 out of 247 for 2,168 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions there. So that's a little bit of a good ratio turnover there on both quarterbacks. So, I mean, that's a little bit of a thing. So you're looking about every 4 attempts, maybe an interception is given for Tulane's quarterback. Every 6 attempts, maybe to SMU's quarterback. But the difference here is the running game is going to be huge. Not like the huge. Is the running back's name is huge. It's 232 carries for Tulane for 1,246 yards, 7 touchdowns. And Knighton, 113 carries for 645 yards and 6 touchdowns for SMU. But if you look at the wide receiver difference, we got Brazil, the second with 41 receptions, 670 yards, and 5 touchdowns for Tulane. So they got to worry about him. He's the big playmaker there. Maryland is 29 receptions, 462 yards, and 7 touchdowns. So that's a very thing there, too. I see Texas over Miami U, 44 plus 7. Boise has great day, guys. Yeah, that's true, too. So, I mean, that's a little bit of a gamble. I mean, when you gamble, you're gonna gamble. You know, you're playing the odds. It's an odd maker playing of the odds there, Billy. So I mean, you know, like I said, the disclaimer here is we're not a betting show, so we really don't guarantee you're gonna win if we pick what we say. We just giving our best opinion to you to help you form your own opinion to what you need to bet on. We just giving you some helpful information, maybe to analyze your play. So that's our disclaimer here. We're not a betting show. We don't guarantee these bets. We don't never guarantee anything that we say. It's just based on our opinions that we think that's going to happen in the ball game to help you formulate your opinion on your betting options. So just just keep that in mind, Billy. So if you look at this game here, I mean, if you look at what Tulane has done in the last 5 games, they have won 29-16 over UTSA. They beat FAU 24-8. They beat Tulsa 24-22. They beat ECU 13-10. They beat Rice 30-20. If you look at the last 5 for SMU, they beat Navy 59-14. They beat Memphis 38-34. They beat North Texas 45-21. They beat Rice 36-31. Both teams played pretty good. Tulane barely beat Rice 30-28, and the same common opponent over here is 36-31. But SMU destroyed Tulsa, and Tulane barely beat Tulsa 24-22. Tulsa, and then SMU beat them 69-10. So that's a little bit of a margin beater there. So that's a little bit of a common comparison in the last 5 games for both teams. Here, like I said, it's 27% for the home team that's going to win this ball game here. So we get Dre back here momentarily. He's getting set up. Once he gives me the thumbs up sign, I will bring him on. He gave me the thumbs up sign. We are now a go. Dre is back. He has come back from the stadium downtown.
You're crazy.
You know. Hey man, you know, I heard they had good beer on the corners over there.
We have the best beer in America here in St. Louis at Anheuser-Busch.
I don't know. I don't know. Bud Light, Budweiser. I I'm a Miller Lite kind of guy myself.
I mean, we own that too. So you all good. We own that too. We corner the market. We got that.
And then you can if you want a bigger can, Foster's, even though it ain't Australian for beer, what they claim to be, that's pretty good too. Foster's not made in freaking Australia. That's not an Australian beer. I've been to Australia and I went in there. I just wanted to see if the claim for Foster was real. And I went into a pub and I had to say, "Is Foster real for y'all?" And they laughed. They said, "No, they should pretending." So that came straight from an Australian.
You went all the way to Australia just for a beer. I tell you something else, right?
No, my ship pulled in.
Oh, that's right.
Pulled into Sydney.
Sitting in Australia.
Yeah. And now I'm gonna deviate to some of the information here. When you go to Sydney, Australia in the Navy, when you pull in, they give you this phone line.
Dial a sailor.
What's up they called? Yeah, called Dial a Sailor. When I sail somewhere in Australia.
You tell everybody now the military used to pimp us out. That's not cool. Not cool.
It's funny, man, because I worked in ship's office. We pulled in. We were pulling in a week before we pulled in. I had to send an email off to the Fifth Fleet in Australia, so with our roster, so they can upload it to the phone line, so the phone line will be ready when we move in. Because when you dock, those fools are waiting on the pier for you.
Yes,
calling you, and they will describe you what they want. They'll describe a sailor, and then we have to look at the sailor and say, okay, does this sailor fit the description? Then we put the sailor up towards the thing so she can look at him. If she gives us a thumbs up, then we let him off the ship. So, yes, the Navy does pimp sailors out.
Man, military ass was just crazy.
I don't know if they're getting kickbacks for it, but.
Hey, you had kids.
All right. If any of you sailors are on here listening and you go to Australia, there's two things you don't want to do. There's two things you don't want to do in Australia.
Get married or have a kid.
No, two things. You don't want to open the door for a woman there because she'll fall in love with you. You don't want to hold a chair and sit her down and you push the chair up like a gentleman does because she wants to get married to you. But the key is they get married to you and you bring you back over to the States and get the green card. They kick you to the curb. They just getting you for the green card. That's all that was.
Man, I'm just thinking back to the military days. Oh, my goodness. It was such a good time.
Hey, man, like I said, we have fun on this show. So sometimes we talk about football. Sometimes the football would take us to a different city, get on the tangent. So, and it brings back to our military days. So we give you some insights on the military life too. So, but anyway, now let's hook this up for Billy Buzz Smith. What a name. That's a tongue twister. Billy Buzz Smith.
I wonder where he's from. I bet he's from Jupersville.
Hey, where you from, Billy?
Jupersville.
Give us where you from, man.
He's from Jupersville, Missouri.
Because that name sounds like a South Carolina hillbilly type name.
Like he's from
the mountain.
I was about to say Rocky Mountain, North Carolina.
Yeah, you can do that too.
You'll be there.
Anywhere in the mountains, like Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia.
What if he's from Udallsville, Mississippi?
Now, if he comes up and says he's from West Virginia, oh man.
What if he come up and say, "The hell with both of y'all? I'm from St. Louis."
I ain't trying to make fun of him, man, but it's a tongue twister name, Billy Buzz Smith.
Listen, my alias name when I go out, my name is Bocephus Carmichael Johnson.
So when you stay in a hotel, I have to look for that name. Then that's a name.
Bocephus Carmichael Johnson. That's my name.
Now you told everybody your nickname, so now they're gonna find you in the hotels. Now you can't use that name for
I don't stay
a hotel.
in hotels anymore. That's for rookies.
You stay at A or B?
Airbnb now. Yeah. Hotels for rookies. Well, I did stay in a hotel when I went to Springfield for my 53rd birthday. I was mad. I didn't get haunted by.
I got to pull your veteran card. You got to pull your veteran card.
Oh, I'll pull it out in a minute. What? What? Street credit up in here.
All right. So let's see here. Now he's looking for some more betting odds here for this game here. 72.5% is favored the visiting team of SMU against the home team of 27.5% of Tulane to win this ball game today. The over and under in this ball game is 47.5, and Tulane is favored by 3.
Ooh, 47. That's an over. Both of those schools can score. And Tulane's fast. Tulane, UCF, and Toledo kind of remind me of each other, how fast they are. They're very fast. They are. I wish we had an RV. We could have done the show from an RV today.
What, from Atlanta?
Yep. We took the show on the road.
Hey, we get to Atlanta, we might could pay some security guards and say we can put our RV right on the 50-yard line and do the show right from the 50.
I have a driver now. So
you got a driver?
Yeah, I have a driver.
You're rich,
now.
Man. You got a chauffeur?
You
got him on speed out. You got him on retainer.
I have a driver now, so now I'm about to really go forward and try to get this RV for next year because I want to hit the road. I want to hit the road. I want to put this show on the road.
I've been trying to pitch that, Jay and them, saying, hey, we want to take our show on the road.
Hey, man, RV is the way to go. I mean,
we got to find an RV that's pretty reasonable.
I'm trying a different approach, man. I don't want no big one. I just want a little 4 to 6 passenger and just pull me a golf cart.
Now, what we could do is do what ESPN does, go to the freaking RV company and say, hey, we want to take your RV to these different college footballs and see what they do.
Well, stay out of my head. You're trying to live up here rent-free. I'm taking that concept.
No.
And we kind of had that when I did radio in Charlotte. We had an RV. So I'm taking those two ideas and using it for my own.
You're gonna wrap it up in all sports.
I'm wrapping it in all my sponsors. I'm gonna wrap the hell out that sumbitch. I'm gonna wrap it. I'm gonna wrap it and wrap it good.
So that means you have to come make a pit stop in Jacksonville to pick me up.
I want to do it for a whole year. That is the goal. I want to do it for a whole year. I want to travel for a whole year and live in an RV. That's the goal.
Man. Make sure you come to the Florida Georgia game then.
You know it, man. Hey, I'm going everywhere, man. I have a unique way I want to do this show. Meet some great people, go to some great places, have some amazing experiences, and record the whole thing. Make a documentary out of it.
I don't know.
Awesome.
I'll tell my wife that I'm gone for a year.
No, that's if I win the lottery. Well, you got to sign a disclaimer, no cell phone. In order to go with me for 1 month, you must sign a disclaimer, no cell phone.
I can't. I have to have my cell phone for emergencies. She might need me.
Well, you can't go.
Well, hold up. No cell phone. Then how you gonna do the show?
No, we're gonna disappear. If I win the lottery, hear me out.
All right.
I'm taking 63 of my closest family and friends, and we're disappearing for 30 days. Not one person is allowed to have a cell phone, smartwatch, nothing. You're gone. You sign a disclaimer. We're gone. All expenses are covered.
All right. So you do that. So you got to make sure you don't do it during our football season.
I would never listen. Here's something about me. I don't go against nothing on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Thursday. That's for the NFL. I don't go to weddings. I don't go to birthday parties. I don't do shit. But pay attention to football. So that's never a problem.
I used to go to Hooters during football season. So I can get
me too until they start wearing pantyhose all the damn time.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah, no. They went to like the hooker style.
Yeah, that's the one I want to go to. Damn Hooters, go to Hookers. Miss that place.
Go to strip joints.
Don't get me started about strip place. I had a real quick story. Yesterday, I go to this dispensary in the morning. I'm in line. There's only 2 people in there. There's a couple in front of me. The young lady is to my left. I'm legally blind, but something tells me to look down. I look down. She has yoga pants on.
Oh, God.
She's 5'4", about 120 pounds. She had see-through yoga pants on. You want to know how I know they were see-through? She was standing right up under the light that's in the place. Right in front of me. I was like, you got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. This is before 11 o'clock in the morning. See-through yoga pants? The audacity. How brave that woman was. I mean, and her boyfriend. They took it like a champ. I couldn't do nothing but applaud. It disrupted my whole show yesterday, my whole train of thought. I wanted to go to a strip club all day yesterday, but none of my crazy loser friends wanted to go. Who was a strip club in the daytime? Grown people. I'll go to a strip club at nighttime. That's where the assholes go out.
Well, yep. So I do Uber driving here in Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah. I bet that's funny.
We have plenty of strip clubs around town. Well, you don't. Yeah. You don't realize who you're picking up until you drop them off.
That's a T-shirt. That should be a T-shirt for anybody that does Uber or Lyft.
I picked her with a nice woman. She dressed very nice. She's not like in. You couldn't tell that she was a stripper by the way she dressed. She dressed in she had a nice dress on. Very nice, very intelligent woman.
I love playing that game.
I pulled up. I took her to her spot to drop her off because you don't know where the place. You don't know the address unless you know the address of the place. So you get the address. It's the only address. Only thing you don't get the name of the business. You get the address for Uber. You don't get the name of the business because sometimes they don't put it in there. So I dropped her off. I dropped her off at Waco's, the strip joint.
Total nudity or just topless?
That one's total. That one is total. That one's total nude because they don't sell
total
alcohol.
Nude in Jacksonville?
If they don't sell alcohol, they can.
What the? Wait a minute. Hold on. If they don't sell alcohol, you can get totally nude.
Yep.
I'm in the wrong line of work. I should be a politician. I mean, who voted for that shit? Go on.
It's one of the laws here.
Wow.
But so she gets there and she's like, she gets there and she's like, you didn't know I was a stripper, did you? I was like, no, not the way you dress and stuff like that. She said, I dress like this because I don't want nobody to know that I'm a stripper at this place because this place is paying for my college. I don't have to pay financial aid. This place pays for my college, blah, blah, blah. And I looked at her and says, okay, you're very intelligent. You're a college student, blah, blah, it's good for you. I don't judge nobody.
Right.
I don't care what you dress like.
Person like strippers.
So she gets out of the car and she's like, can you walk me to the door? I'm like, why do I need to walk to the door? Because you're big. The bouncers can't come out because I have to call before the bounce. That's why I was on the phone. I had to call them, let them know when I drive up so they can come out. They're busy. So I need you to walk me to the door.
Damn. You escorted a stripper.
Yeah, I went back to my days in Hawaii, dude. I used to be a bouncer at a strip joint. I used to be a bouncer at a strip joint in Hawaii.
Which club?
It's the one right by the base. It's one by
Nimitz.
Yeah, it's right off that right there. It's right by the bar that you go in and you do jello shots and you can play jello wrestling.
Yeah, that was the photography place. They used to do amateur photo night on Sunday nights. Yeah.
Yeah. It's right there.
Yeah.
And the best thing is nobody on the ship knew I was a bouncer until they walked into the club.
I attempted to be a male stripper in Hawaii.
No lie. I was in the club being a bouncer, and the CEO of the base comes into the club.
That happened to me.
I'm standing there, and he's looking at me. I'm looking at him. He knows I know he's married. He's looking. He's like, no. That's not what he's looking at. That's not what. And I look. He walked in with a Japanese CEO of a Japanese ship. He was the host CEO for that ship. Because when you're in Hawaii, they got to host a ship.
Right.
They come foreign coming. So So they have to take them anywhere they go. Well, this CEO wanted to go to the strip joint. So he had to go tell it. So I looked at him. He's like, my wife knows I'm here.
Sure she does, Scott.
So I'm sitting here looking at him. I'm like, really? And the whole night, the freaking Japanese CEO was buying him lap dances.
Man, people go to the strip club with their spouse today. It's weird today.
But yeah, that's a quick story down. But yeah, here in Jacksonville, you as an Uber driver, you take a lot of high end clientels to their place of business, and you won't know about the address until you actually pull up where you're going.
So total nudity with no alcohol.
Yep.
How late are they open?
2.
What time they open?
11.
So there's no nudity before 6 down there? Well, after 6?
No, it's from they. As long as they don't serve alcohol throughout the day, they can go open up 11 and be full nudity at 11.
Damn.
They just can't. They can serve beer, but they can't serve liquor. That's what basically it is.
Because I'm a liquor. I do 2 shows a night here, kids. I do weddings.
Because they feel that the beer is not more aggressive than the liquor is.
Yeah, liquor make you think you're somebody else. I could feel that.
Oh, I can tell you a story about that too. Well, I was married to my first wife.
I hope so.
Her sister, husband, when they were getting ready to get married, he had a bachelor party. So he thought he has a problem with drinking Johnny Walker. And he drank a lot of Johnny Walker. He gets violent when he drinks Johnny Walker. Now, just remind, he's on that playing headbutts with everybody in the freaking thing. He comes up to me and tries to play headbutt with me. And I put him straight down on the floor with my leg in his jaw. And everybody in the room, like 5 or 6 people were like, dude, you just took him down by yourself. We couldn't even take him down like that. I was like, dude, I'm in the military. I know how to take people down.
Oh, my goodness.
I looked at him. I said, dude, you need to cut out your Johnny Walker because you're going to pick a fight that you can't win. He's like, I can beat you. I can beat you. I was like, okay. So he said, I got boxing gloves. So he goes and get me boxing gloves. One punch knocked him out.
Why do people always want to do things they shouldn't be doing when they've been drinking? No, I race you.
The problem is
he was 30 beers apiece. Why do you want to run and race to prove anything? No.
The problem is I was sober and he was drunk. And he picked a fight that he couldn't win.
Did he get married?
He got married the next day. He was late.
Late to his own damn wedding.
Yeah, I had to go pick him up. They look at me like, where's he at? I don't know. I'll go find him. I went and picked him up. He's laying in bed. I'm like, dude, you need to put this on. Here's some coffee. Let's get going. You're late to the church.
The good old days.
First, I had to go wake him up with smelling sauce. He was still unconscious.
Ray, you need to be a comedian, man. You need to be a stand. The next open mic night in Jacksonville, you should go.
I did go to a comedian comedian workshop for veterans. So
that ought to be pretty cool.
Yeah, they did that at Wounded Warriors.
Huh. I'm funny in moments. I just have funny stories. I can't tell jokes worth the fuck. I just think my life is funny.
Basically, all it is them telling the story with a few punchlines, setting it up.
Oh, I've been married 4 times. I got a doozy.
Like Fluffy. Because all he does is tell stories.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe some of the stories, man, that I have. And
dude, you can make a whole comedy show off your marriage.
Huh?
You can make a whole comedy show off your marriage.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, fuck yes, I can. Oh, easily. And I don't even have to use their names. I don't use their names.
You know, I can make one good one for you. You kind of look like Red Fox, and then you probably had a wife look like Esther.
Who? Me?
Yeah.
I had one Shrek, but there's a reason. She was good with money. She's really good with money. Really, 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 really good with
I'm
money.
finna say she had the Bible like Esther. I was like,
Oh, she was a churchy. She went a lot all the time.
she looked like Esther too.
Kind of.
Yeah, people don't know what we're talking about.
But
Nobody on this same party know what we're talking about.
But she was nice. She was nice.
Did you have a wife named Elizabeth?
No. Two black women.
Did you have a scene said, Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you?
No.
They still don't know what we're talking about.
No.
We're talking about Sanford and Sons.
Yeah.
Yes. People on here go look at me like, you watch Sanford and Sons? Yep, I watched Sanford and Sons. Sanford and Sons came on right after Andy Griffin. I watched Andy Griffin, Sanford and Sons, and then the Dukes of Hazzard.
When I was a truck driver in beautiful North Carolina, I went to Mount Airy, North Carolina, and also Pilot Mountain, North Carolina.
Did you see Mayberry?
Andy Griffin. That's the town of Andy Griffin. Right down yonder, down the road, that boy.
You know he was a sheriff in that town without a gun.
Yeah, he was.
That's why the show was based off of.
They can own. I like the fact in small towns where they used to still do it, where the town drunk, they would just let them crash at the jail.
They still do. Did you go? You didn't been
small town jails today are not the same.
Well, no, but the one in Mount Airy's where the show is based off of, they do have the jail sitting there, and we went to visit, and we went in there, and they had the town drunk still sleeping in there.
Oh man, I love Mount Airy, man. They got some good food up there.
And then we had a guy walk in. We had a guy walk behind while we into the thing while we're taking a tour. Walks right in, locks himself in the jail, tells the sheriff that he just robbed a store down the street. I was like, what the freak is down?
Oh my goodness, Ray.
Oh yeah. I used to watch BJ and the Bear.
Now that was my show.
BJ
I wanted a pet monkey as a kid, and I got mad at my dad because I couldn't get a pet monkey.
You got to train it first.
Well, I wanted a pet monkey.
But you couldn't get one because they weren't trained.
Well, that wasn't even a process back then. It was like, Dad, can I have a pet monkey? He said, boy, no. That was it. That's how no went back in the day when you were a youngster. Mama, can I? Boy, no.
Then if you didn't understand no, you got beat down.
No, there was no immediate beat down unless I did something wrong, which I was kind of a rambunctious kid as a young lad back in the day.
Well, see, I had an older sister who knew how to manipulate the scene.
They all do.
So she did something wrong, and then she comes by and throws it and tells me to hold this. Like me being stupid, I hold it. My dad comes in there and says, you just broke that window over there with this thing. I looked at it and said, no, Roseanne just handed me this. Oh, your sister couldn't do nothing like that. I'm looking at him like, as the middle child, I got beat the most as a middle child.
I got in a lot of trouble, but I stopped getting whippings when I was 12. For one, I saw my father get into a fight, and I said, I'd never want him to hit me ever again. And then at that same time, I saw my mom fight, and I said, I got to get my shit together because I don't want either one of them hit me ever again. No way.
All right, let's move right along here. We got 1, 2, 3 more games to go right now. 4 p.m. game is on ESPN is Appalachian State against Troy. This is at Veteran Memorial Stadium in Alabama, Troy, Alabama. 58 degrees is going to be the temperature. Both teams come in on the Sun Belt. This is a Sun Belt championship game. Appalachian State comes in 8-4, 6-2 in the Sun Belt, 10-2 for Troy, 7-1 in the Sun Belt. Troy is favored by 5 points, and the over and under is 52.5. So let's talk about that. Let's get Billy Bub his 3 teams right now. Is this one of the teams you should be a lock in with the point spread?
I didn't hear who you picked between Georgia and Bama.
I took Uga.
Okay, gotcha. And in this matchup here between Troy and who?
I took SMU over Tulane, the last one.
I've been to Boone. You ain't got to convince me about App State. I like that school. I like that team. I like what they've been doing with this football program. Since they beat Michigan when they changed the seismograph with that boom, since that beatdown happened in the 90s, that program has gotten better and better and better. They're starting to get some big-time recruits in that program right now. They're starting to build something, and boom. I think App State can win this game, so I'm going to pick App State. And I like that over-under. What was it, 42?
Yeah, the over and under is 52.5.
Oh, I'm going under. I'm going under on that. Under.
And then Troy is favored by 5.
I take the 5 and the under.
Okay. Dan, since you said you've been to Boone, North Carolina, you can't go to Boone, North Carolina without going to Tweetsie Railroad. Did you go to Tweetsie Railroad?
No, I did not. No, I
did not.
Go to
Grandfather Mountain.
What's that?
Did you go to Grandfather Mountain?
No, I went to a delivery, went to a bar down the street, and went home.
You didn't go to Boone. You didn't do the dangerous thing in Boone. You didn't go across the 2-mile swinging bridge over 2,500 feet.
You're trying to tell me in order for me to go to the other side, I would have had to swing 2,500 feet in the air to get to the other side?
No. Oh. There's a bridge that goes from one side of the mountain to the other. It's a swinging bridge. It's just a bridge, and it swings side to side. When you walk on it, you got to hold both things so you won't tilt it over.
There's no fucking way I was doing that. No. But, I didn't like going across the bridge in Mount Pleasant.
But look, the thing is, when you get to the other side, you have to come back across the bridge to get back to your car.
Apparently so, Ray. No, I'm not doing that.
And then on top of that, if you look down, you can see the black bears walking underneath you.
There's none of that happening in this lifetime, bro. No, I'm good. I'm good. I can wave. I see you.
I'm just saying, you go to Boone, North Carolina. That's 2 spots you got to go to. Tweetsie Railroad to play play cowboy Indians on the train. Have somebody come and rob you on the train, watch the Indians and stuff like that. Yeah, they do a whole show. That's a whole show on that train ride.
No, I'm good.
You should have done it, man.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, next time you go, take your little puff, and go get on the train. I want to see that.
Is it legal in Florida yet, marijuana?
No, you got to have a doctor prescription.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I am a doctor. Well, I did stay at Holiday Express last night. So
it don't make you a doctor, though.
That is.
You do 8 years of college?
I partied 8 years at a college.
That's called party doctor. That's not a real doctor. Did you go to East Carolina?
I've been there. I've kicked it at East Carolina.
Yeah, East Carolina's the party school.
Yes, it is. You think they party harder than App State?
Yes.
App State can get.
I'm gonna tell you, East Carolina. I went on a recruiting trip to East Carolina with my buddy. By the time we got out of there, we couldn't drive we had to wait the next morning to leave.
Damn.
They even gave us we were heading back to our car. We were like getting ready to leave. They come, we got a sorority party. Come on. No. I'm looking at him like, we ain't even old enough to drink. He's like, I don't care. Come on.
That was your main concern?
Dude, I was 17 at the time.
You weren't drinking at 17, even beer?
No, I was drinking. I was drinking when I was 15, dude. I've been drinking since I was 15.
Pardon me. Damn. That's like one of my friends the other day. He said, I was smoking weed at 9. 9? What was going on in your life that at 9 years old?
Dude, we used to go up to the gas station. Look, have you ever heard of a drink called Purple Passion?
Yeah.
That's got Everclear in it.
Uh-huh.
We used to have a guy that sits outside the gas station. We pay him $20 to go get us Purple Passion. So everybody thinks we're drinking freaking great Kool-Aid.
I was a beer guy. I mean, the Mad Dog craze and the Cisco was fun, but I used to like them 40s. I mean, they were 99 cents for 40 ounces of beer.
What the A-ball?
Yeah, buddy. But I didn't start drinking until I was 17.
Old English 8,000.
Yeah, there it is. When they sold them motherfuckers on the base in Pearl Harbor, that was nice.
Were you the one to take the bottle and put it in the brown paper bag and drink it out of?
Hell yeah, brown bag. What's up?
So you know, see, we're on the same age level there. You know, we know
I
what
just
happened.
turned 53, man. I just turned 53 3 weeks ago.
Well, you're only 2 years older than me.
Yeah. It's not a race, bro. It's not a race.
What kind of race you want to be? First one to die? That's like, I don't even wish that on the Duke fans, man.
Oh man, it's that time of year when Duke and
Carolina. You know, the Tar Heel fans don't like a Duke fan, but I don't wish that on my bad. I don't wish that part on nobody.
Now that's one thing I do miss about living in Mooresville, North Carolina, and Charlotte, North Carolina. The banter between Duke, Carolina fans. I miss that shit. That shit was just it made my day during college basketball season.
Well, the problem is you go to Durham, you can't find a Duke fan. You have to go outside. You have to go outside the Durham city limits to find an actual Duke fan.
Oh man, NC State fans and Wake Forest fans are cool too. They're cool.
Nah, State fans are too obnoxious. They think they own everything.
They put out. That's what I like about them. Good party schools, all of them. East Carolina and App State.
Dude, State's parties are like a drag.
I don't know who you were hanging around with, but the parties I went to, I kicked it.
Even though I'm a Tar Heel fan, the best parties at East Carolina. I'm sorry. ECU's got the best party.
And I went to an App State party. You
haven't partied unless you party on the Green Hill.
I partied in the outside of Cameron when Duke and Carolina, they were partying outside the night before the game. Where else? Of course, when NC State beat Florida State, Bobby Bowden was there.
Philip Rivers quarterback. Huh? You know, back in the day when East Carolina beat NC State fans started cutting East Carolina fans.
That's when Jeff Blake was a quarterback, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the State Fairgrounds.
Yeah, buddy. See, those were the days, man.
You know, North Carolina State don't play any of their football games or basketball games now on their campus.
Why? What happened?
Well, the stadium on the campus got too old, so they renovated it. The football stadium has never been on the state campus. It was on the State Fairgrounds.
Huh. Never realized that.
Yeah. You had to go. Their campus is like 3 or 4 miles from the State Fairgrounds.
I know they tore the goalpost down when they beat Florida State, and that was a long-ass walk. And I was like, nah, I'm not doing all that walking.
Yeah, NC State, Duke, and Carolina, Wake Forest, are the only 3 ACC teams that actually play on that campus in every sport. Besides golf. Or, no, rowing.
Is rowing a sport?
Yeah. We don't cover that here. Yeah. I don't know too much about rowing. All I know is they got a bunch of women, and one woman stands on the back end with a freaking microphone and says, "Stroke, stroke."
That's the job. That's a pretty decent job to have, I guess.
Yeah, she's standing on the back of the boat saying "stroke."
Oh my goodness.
All right, so we got East Carolina. We got Appalachian State. You got Appalachian State winning against Troy. I think Troy is going to have I think they're playing at home. I think this gives them a little bit more of an advantage. They're playing at the veteran Memorial Stadium in Troy, Alabama. They did lose one game in the whole season. I'm trying to figure out who they lose to. So I got to bring up their full schedule to find out who they actually lost to. They lost 2 games. They lost to James Madison is one of the games they lost, and then they lost to number 15 Kansas State. So the 2 games they actually lost was against one number 15 ranked Kansas State, and then they beat James Madison, unranked James Madison 16-14 on September 16th. They haven't lost that. That's the last loss they have since September 16th is the last loss. They have won the rest of their games. Appalachian the same way. They lost to North Carolina on September 9th, 40-34 in 2 overtimes in Chapel Hill.
That was a hell of a game.
Yeah. Then they lost to Wyoming 22-19. They lost to Coastal Carolina 27-24. They lost to Old Dominion 28-21. They haven't got blown out. None of their losses. All their losses are like 6, 3.
No double digit.
3. Yeah, no double digit loss.
That has to make you feel good. When you lose a game by less than 7 points, you got more than one loss. That has to make you feel real good, which is a defense going into a situation like this.
Now, I see why they lost to Old Dominion. They went to Hampton. They played on Hampton Boulevard.
Here go Ray with his ODU stories back in the day.
I guess they had to have police escort to get in there and all that stuff because that section of Hampton Boulevard is not very popular.
I love a police escort. I'm not gonna lie. I've only had it twice my entire life. I love a police escort. I don't mind it.
Did you do guard the president?
What?
You guard the president for have a police escort?
No, I was in the parade and I had the brigadier commander of the military base with me.
Now, the only time I had a police escort is when I was in a funeral procession.
Okay. Twice had the base commander. He was in the parade with us, and I was transporting him, so I had the police escort.
I watched my great-great-grandmother bury all her kids and her husband before she died.
Okay. All right.
That's pretty bad when you outlive all your kids and your husband.
Damn.
Yeah, she might not know what she was watching, but she watched all of them be buried.
Right.
So, but yeah, last loss for Appalachian State was October 21st. So they have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're coming in on a 5-game winning streak. So that's going to be an interesting game. I think Appalachian State plays good on the road. I think they play good in hostile territory. But I think Troy just have a little bit better season. I think Troy could come out with a victory, but I hope Appalachian State does come out with a victory. But I got
me too. I'm pulling for App State.
I'm going with Troy though.
You going with Troy?
Yeah, just because they're playing at home. All right, let's get right along here. We're about to get to another big game here that most people want to know. I know our Big Ten crew probably already covered this game a little bit on Friday because we have a Big Ten show called Big Talk, I guess that's what it's called now. Let's see here. Yep. Number 2, Michigan, which you believe Michigan should be ranked number 1.
Yes.
Against number 16, Iowa. This game is played in Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana, home of the Colts, which the Jaguars beat twice already.
No matter what, you're going to get your fandom in. You got your Carolina basketball in there, Carolina football.
I do it slick-wise.
And you got your Jacksonville Jaguars. You just threw that jab right on that. Was slick, Ray. I like that. Like your style.
I do it setting it up. Set the promo up, man.
Good shit. That was good shit, Ray. I got to slide.
That's what they teach you. That's what they teach you at Dan Patrick School of Broadcasting. That's where I'm at. That's why I'm doing that full self.
If you give her a hug, you slide your phone number in her pocket. Yeah, that's smooth. That's some smooth shit.
So, you got to do it sometimes. You got to be slick like that.
Already.
But anyway, most people probably didn't catch it either. They probably heard the first thing and then they tuned everything else out. But slide it in there anyway.
That's what they do.
All right, number 2 Michigan against number 16 Iowa. This is going to be offense versus defense. But the big scenario here in this Iowa game would have been because Iowa starting quarterback got injured who came from Michigan. He was the starting quarterback. Him and McCarthy split time last year. But he's out. So they got another quarterback in Hill who's now took over. He's not very good. He has a 5 touchdown to 6 interception ratio. He's 97 out of 201 for 976 yards, the backup quarterback. So the offense is not nil and void. The running back is the big star player on the team, which is Williams, 155 carries, 779 yards, and 1 touchdown. Their wide receivers, the leading wide receiver on the team is 21 receptions, 299 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That's Iowa. Now, if you look at the other side, you got J.J. McCarthy, who is 191 out of 257, 2,483 yards, 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, which is a good ratio there. And they got Crum, who's probably one of the best wide receiver running backs in the country. They can do that, but he's looking for he only needs 14 more yards, and then he will have 24 more yards, and then he'll have over 1,000 yards rushing once again for I think his 3rd year in a row. He's 202 carries for 976 yards, 22 touchdowns. He does get in end zone as a small back from the red zone, so they do it. Michigan does a little bit opposite. If you get in the red zone, they put Crum in there and let him run. He's not a physical running back, but he's a quick running back. So he does get a lot of touchdowns. He gets a lot of touchdowns from going from the 40-yard line out. So you got to watch that for big plays. But the defense for Iowa is very outstanding. It's probably one of the best in the country on defense. They have been in a while. The wide receiver for Michigan is Wilson with 40 receptions, 640 yards, and 11 touchdowns. So we got a tell of a tape here. We got a team that is balanced in Michigan. We got a team that is unbalanced, whose balance is on their defense versus their offense. So today, now when we talk about the over and under in this ball game, this is going to be weird. The over and under is 35.5. Mm-hmm. Michigan is favored by 22.5.
What the? Who did the math on this? Philip, you've been messing with my math calculator again.
The odds was done by ESPN Bets.
Oh, I heard that site got screwed up the first day. It crashed, didn't it? It's nothing too good.
They said Michigan's going to win 22. It's favored by 22.5, and the over and under is 35.5. So that means Michigan's going to score 20. Michigan's going to score. This is going to be a low-scoring game.
Very. You know that? But here's what I want to point out. Last week, Michigan lost their offensive lineman, number 65. If you watched the game on TV, you didn't see it unless you saw it on YouTube, but came out later. They didn't show the injury due to they didn't want to do nothing wild with it, so they went to commercial break. The whole stadium got to chanting that kid's name because it was a horrific leg break that he had. And the very next play, Michigan scored on a running touchdown. So Michigan run game has totally changed for the past 4 weeks in a way I didn't see coming. Before Captain Khaki Pants got suspended for sign stealing allegations or whatever it could be, whatever they're doing over there. Then you had the coach come in crying on national TV for no damn reason at all. I didn't understand that. And then last week, it getting real personal for 6'5". So I think Michigan is on a bigger statement. They're pissed they're not number one. They're pissed about all the hoop and all the noise that was made about Captain Khaki Pants being suspended and instead of concentrating on them. So I think Michigan, with this game today, we know Iowa defense doesn't give up no more than 12.5 points a game based on their schedule this year. They can't score no more than 10 points. So I get the 32 points right there. I can feel with it. I can vibe with that. But I think it's even more personal for Michigan. I think they're going to try to pitch a goose egg today. I've never predicted a shutout before in college football, but I'm predicting one today. As pissed off as Michigan is, they're the winningest football program that there ever was. They just won their 1,000th game a couple weeks ago. And all that hoopla that happened about Michigan this year, they ready for that action. They ready for that smoke. And I think today is like that ass coming today. Michigan going to bring it today. You think running the ball 30 times in a row is something special? What they going to do today to Iowa is going to be something special.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at two things here, what caught my eye as is the way they inverted their two running backs. Michigan has a two running back game that is actually nobody. It's not a drop off when you bring the second back in. Everybody thinks sometimes when you bring the second back in, it's just for certain situations that he's probably good at. But no, they can run the same plays they run for Crum with their backup running back. So that makes that interchangeable so fucking excuse my language, so good on the play. So you got to watch a little bit of things here on that thing too. You talking about the offensive lineman had a gross injury. and then backup come in and he scored a touchdown off the next play. Michigan is deep. Michigan is deep on the offensive line. I mean, they rotate their offensive line sometimes. If you don't catch the line change, they rotate some of their defensive linemen in. So, I mean, they get game experience for the backups, too. They get almost the same amount of reps as the starters. But nobody's talking about the thing which you mentioned that Jim Harbaugh has been out. They thought they were going to lose since Harbaugh was out. They were hoping that the backup coach who was there couldn't call a good game to be that point. But you got to give your hats off to him, the offensive coordinator. He's undefeated, too. So him and Jim Harbaugh, both of them are undefeated this season coaching Michigan. But his name has not been announced for any opening and stuff like that. If I was Duke, I'll go out there and say, hey, look, dude, you're undefeated. Why don't you go out? Why don't go out there and get him?
Why does he have to leave? Not all coaches want to be the head coach. Some like staying in their position. Some like being a position coach. Not everybody wants to be a head coach. Not everybody wants to be a head coach. And I think some coaches get in a position because they get to listen to the media, social media, people who don't even care about their future, just want them to make a dumb decision. You should go be a football coach. You're right. Then they get in way over their head. It's a different role and mentality when you're the head coach. Anything that go wrong is your fault. Anything go right, it's the coaches and the players' fault. They're right. But when anything goes wrong, coach, what did you do? But when it's right, it's about the players and the coaches.
It's not right for me to just pick on Duke people too, but like some of the Carolina fans, I go around some of the Carolina groups and they're like, oh, we need to fire Mac Brown, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's more of Mac Brown. I think it's more of our defensive coordinator.
Yep.
I mean, Matt Brown, you could. I mean, way Matt Brown runs his team, he runs his team like a CEO. He lets the coordinators coach. That's what your head coach should let them do, not interfere in everything. Make minor changes when it needs to be made. But I mean, Gene Chizik the last 2 years for North Carolina defense, I thought the glimpse was looking good when they played South Carolina when they had 9 sacks in that game. But then they started falling off at game after game after game until they got to a point where they couldn't be no greater. I mean, I like the kids on the thing. I don't think Gene Chizik can come out of the booth like he did and been out of the game for 9 to 10 years and come back into a different kind of game than it was
like
when
20
he
years.
was
If you miss 1 year of college football from coaching, you're 4 years behind if you take a year off.
Yeah.
That's how fast the game is evolving right now. This is what I don't get, Ray, right now in college football. When you don't have a quarterback and you're trying to compete in the game of college football, why don't you give them plays that they can do? What's wrong with the short game? What's wrong with that? It worked for Washington last night. It's worked for other programs that can implement that until they get where they need to be when it comes to the quarterback fulfilling that position, to be able to take on these players that they're getting, these blue chippers that are coming in.
Now,
why do they make it such a hard thing when it comes to coaching the quarterback position?
Now, I'll get you on that because if you look at it, if you want to take an analogy, some people like to take analogies from different sports. Would go, the short game is gone like the mid-range game is gone in basketball.
Okay.
Everybody wants to do the three-point line. Everybody wants to do the deep bomb passing. When you take what the defense gives you, defense is going to give you short passes all game long.
I mean,
if you look at it, why doesn't college take more advantage of the corners are playing almost 10 yards off the ball? You do a 5 hook shot, you get 5 yards every time. Boom, you got a first down. You move the ball down the field until they come up. Then when they come up, you blast them. So you work the intermediate game to the blast game. But now they want to go blast game back to the intermediate game, or they just forget the intermediate game and just keep them going out. I mean, to me, you got 10 yards. Say you're 3rd and 5. They run a 4-yard pass play and then hope the wide receiver can get that 1 extra yard.
They want you to get the yak now instead of it's a different game. Do I like the style of the different game? To an extent, I do. But every now and then, what's wrong with being simplistic? Why is simplistic so boring to people? It's winning the game. It's keeping me in the game. If we do what everybody else is doing, we're going to have a hard time of doing what? Competing week in and week out.
It's just,
not everybody can do what everybody is doing.
The game has changed because the athletes are getting better and all they – but why the game has changed is because what they do outside of the game, the vitamins, the freaking
the food is off the chain. Off the chain. There are more 7-footers in the world today athletically than ever before.
Yeah,
and they're not just sticks anymore. These something's built.
The way you got to break that is, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news people, but they're gonna have to bring testing into the high schools. They're gonna have to bring testing levels in high schools because they're not up in the high school levels. They can do anything they want to with the vitamins, the creatines, all the performance enhancement drugs.
Oh,
and
these
stuff
like testing kids in high school. I agree with you on that. Because
if you don't stop it when it gets to the high school game, they're gonna get bigger and better at the high school level. And then when they come to college, they're already been done taking the performance enhancement drugs, and now they already got to where they need to be. And now you're gonna be judged on what you're doing now in college because you got to come off of it. But if you stop it before they get into high school as a freshman in the high school level, then you got everybody on the even playing field. Then you can build up the thing. But right now in games, athletes are totally different.
You think more kids are doping in high school today than when we were in high school?
Yeah.
I mean, juicing. You think more kids are juicing today than when we were in high school?
Dude, when we were in high school, we didn't have all this performance enhancement drugs. We only had steroids. That was it.
But still, you think more kids on steroids today than when we were?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, the demand to be big and fast is even more than anything today. So, yeah, you're probably right on that.
It's easier to get it today than it was when we were growing up.
You're probably right. Like juicing and getting a gun today is probably easier today than it was when we were in high school. Yeah, I can see your point on that. Because the field of competition in Florida and California and New York is through the chain. And Texas, through the chain.
Yeah, because if you look at the stats back in the 80s and stuff like that, we didn't have all this outlasting stuff that was going up against the law. The law was the land. We followed the law back in the day. Now, as the law keep going up and getting up, and now everybody's saying, oh, this stuff is off the chain with all this stuff going on in the world today. I mean,
they were still paying athletes illegally back then more than anything back in that day. It was probably the only thing that they were doing illegally. Some had the upper hand on the steroids, but today, technology and the way they can get it now and the internet, I can see it.
Because now, hey, look, I could pitch a whole thing about this, but the one thing I'm talking about, let's talk about the ED pills. You got to go to the freaking doctor to get it prescribed for people. And now you can get the off-brand through the internet.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about erectile dysfunction?
Yeah. I'm just saying, dude. I mean, dude, you can look on the internet, and next thing you know, you look on Facebook, everything's popping up, all this freaking stuff.
You can get anything you want today on the internet. You don't have to leave your home. If you have food and the internet, why leave the house?
Yeah, and then another thing is you don't know what they get because it comes in a private package.
Oh man.
It's easy today to get it. That's why I'm saying it's a whole lot easier today to get it than it was when we were growing up.
That's what she said.
Because the internet, even though the internet was around, everybody didn't have internet at the house.
No.
I didn't get internet in my house until 1985 when it was 56K modem.
Wow.
AOL. You go like this, you dial up.
See, his people out here right now have no idea what you're talking about. They think you're talking Ewok right now language.
You go AOL, you go American, what was it called? American Online, AOL. And basically you put a phone line from your phone jack in there and makes these weird noise like a fax machine. And you can watch the man go across the stage. It goes from here, and then you say it's connected. And then sometimes you get disconnected. And then you have to wait an hour for everything to load up.
You still have a fax?
Huh?
Do you still have a fax machine?
I still got one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still do too.
You know, like my kids, I have a VCR sitting in my closet.
Uh-oh.
My kid come and ask me, "What's this?" It's a VCR. Where's a VCR? It's a video recorder. That's where we used to have to record stuff. It just looks at me like, okay, you know. Yeah, I'm telling my age. Yeah, but you know,
you're nothing but 51. That's young, man. 50 is the new 40.
Well, not if you have 13 knee operations, Dave.
I feel amazing. I actually feel 38.
That's your chemicals talking. That's your performance enhancing.
The chemicals talking.
Hey, don't take it for a week and see how you feel.
Oh man, I feel that. My buddy asked me the other day. He said, "Does anything hurt on you?" I was like, "No, what are you talking about?" He's like, "Man, my back, my knee, my foot, my left side of my shoulder." I was like, "I have none of that. None of that. I have no aches. None of that. I don't know if it was the fact I kind of took care of myself when I played ball. I only had one really serious injury. I don't know. I walk every day, but I'm in no pain. Nothing hurts.
Of course not. You're feeling good right now.
I feel good every day, right? Every day. Every day. My mom and dad did a great thing making this. They did a great thing.
All right, man. So who you got in this ball game? You got Michigan blowing them out?
I don't see they don't want it to shutout. They could win 21-0. But it's not going to be like no 38-3 type shit. No. For one, that's not in Harbaugh's nature. He respects the game of college football too much. He would not run the score. But if he knows he's the more dominant team, he can see that he could possibly do that. He's definitely going to ease up a little bit and worry about this college football playoff.
Now he needs to make sure you don't get nobody no cheeseburgers and don't spy on the team.
That was some bullshit, man. I tell you, man. What they're allowed to do and not allowed to do for today's student athlete is just
now.
Weird.
You got to take the benefit of the doubt. I know he's the head coach. I know he's supposed to know everything, but honestly, you think he really knew that his coach was going out there and taping these things? I'm just asking.
What you think?
I mean, I know he gave them cheeseburger. I know that, but I don't think Harbaugh seems like the guy to go out there and do a Belichick thing.
See, that's the thing. Nobody believes it because it's Harbaugh. I couldn't believe Jim Harbaugh. His respectable name. He's come from the coach. Look, his dad and his brother. I couldn't see this. If you're not trying to cheat, you're not trying to win.
Well, I mean, Belichick cheated all the time.
They all cheat all of the time. Just because we don't see how they're cheating, don't mean they're not cheating. They all do it. They all do it. Yes. Some form or fashion, they have an advantage somewhere in what they're doing. Some of it is in front of us, and some of it is probably on paper. But they all are doing a form of cheating out there, especially in college. Hell yeah. Yes.
I'll be off. 12? Oh, shit. Yeah. Everybody, I hope you didn't hear my wife say the cuss word on there. She's sorry.
Mom, is she going off on you?
No, she ain't going off on me. She's going off on herself.
But I got Michigan, man. I want to see good football.
They closed at 12 o'clock.
You got Michigan?
Yeah, I got Michigan, but I think it's gonna be a blowout. I don't think Iowa's gonna score because the way their offense is set up. I think Michigan plays great defense and to a extent. And if you ain't got a passing game, you got no shot.
I can see 21-0. I can see Harbaugh. Hey, it's enough. Simmer down. We got more football to play.
See, what Michigan is, if you can't beat them with the pass, you ain't gonna beat them with the run.
You're not running that ball on them. That defense is hungry.
I mean, look what Ohio State had to do.
I mean, the pregame in the locker room before they huddle up is when it really kicks in to me. When you got your head down that locker room, you know that big game moment I'm talking about. Yeah. You got to get in your own head. You got to get yourself game ready. And I think
if you're talking about it too, Ohio State's got one of the dominant wide receivers in the college football game in Marvin Harris Jr. And he did something against Michigan, but he stopped going to him. Michigan couldn't stop him. I would have thrown the ball to him all day.
It looked like he got hypnotized in the middle of the game. Something was off with the Ohio State. It was still a hell of a game. Still one hell of a game. Hell of a game.
But look, if you look at it, you got Day as the head coach, been there for a while. Then you got the freaking offensive coordinator, who's the offensive coordinator, became interim head coach and beat the head coach that's been sitting there all year.
The game of college football is looking between the numbers, using our own eye test, and seeing the actual game play out. It's very fascinating to me. Going into that game, I thought Ohio State was going to beat them going into the game due to the fact they had the key factor, Marvin Harrison Jr. But as you said, they stopped going to him. I know Michigan can run the ball. I know they can run the ball. I know that defense is hungry, but that pass game defense is theirs up against the Ohio State. I didn't think it would stand up to the test. Boy, was I wrong. If they would have kept that ball in the attention to Marvin Harrison Jr. in the second half, different outcome of the game, I think.
I'm glad they didn't, because I was tired of hearing the ESPN announcer say that Maserati was coming down the damn pipe. I'm like, damn, man, the dude ain't a car. He's a freaking human being. Is he a transformer? The way that dude was broadcast, here comes the Maserati there. I'm like, what the freak? That dude ain't got no wheels.
They try to give these kids nicknames already before they're a star. Oh, he's going to be a future. Oh, he's going to be in Kent one day. Can we enjoy him in college?
Yeah, but sometimes when the announcers say, "Oh, they do good in pros," and then they turn out to be a bust.
Yeah, I hate when they do that. I'm not
Ryan
rushing
Leaf.
Nobody else's collegiate career ever.
Like Ryan Leaf. Ryan Leaf's going to be this great quarterback, blah, blah, blah. And he was a bust.
He's a much better human now, though. He learned from his mistake.
Yeah,
some of that is our fault. Some of that is Mel Kiper Jr.'s fault. We all have done it.
He probably got humbled when he had to go work at a warehouse.
We all have done it. We see somebody in high school and we've said, boy, he's going to be something else in college. We've seen a college player. I can't wait to see him on Sunday. Whoa. We all do it.
Yoel from Bring It On here on the All Sports All Plays Network. He said he loves Texas, Georgia, Michigan, and Louisville today.
Okay. That's a good one. I like that.
All right, we both got Michigan in this ball game here. Let's get down to the last few games here on the day. And let's go with Louisville and Florida State. We know Travis is out for Florida State. We know the quarterback condition with the Florida Gators guy getting KO him, but he came back in the game to finish out the game, though.
They said he could be a possible game start today.
Yeah. So now let me ask you about that. In your opinion, as a Gator fan, was that a freaking outrageous hit? That guy should have been ejected.
As a Florida football Gator fan, as an SEC fan, as a college football fan, it's part of the game, sir. It's part of the game. Part of the game. No ejection needed. No. I don't like the fact how the media is saying just because Florida lost their quarterback, no matter what happens today, no, if they win, should they get in the college football playoff? Even if they win, due to the fact that they quarterback, because they don't want another debacle of what happened with TCU or when Hawaii had to play Georgia. They don't want the embarrassment again. That's the narrative I don't like about Florida State. So what? They lost their quarterback. It's a part of the game. You're going to lose a player.
Right.
You're going to lose a player. It's part of the game.
Well,
we know Louisville has not been in this position before, but if Louisville beats them, let the pecking order fall the way the pecking order should fall. That's all I'm saying. Don't try to make extenuating circumstances to get Bama in the damn playoff. That's what they're trying to do.
You know what's going to happen.
That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to say if Bama even loses and Louisville beats Florida State, Bama should still get in. Not with 2 losses, you're not.
No. But this is the problem I have here. This is going to be the problem I have here. If Alabama wins, they're going to move Alabama up 1, 2, because Oregon lost. They're moving down. Texas, if they win, they should move up because they're 1 ahead of them. And they beat Alabama head-to-head. Ohio State ain't even playing. So they sitting at 11-1 at number 6. So Alabama, if they win, they're going to say Alabama beat Georgia. That's going to move them up 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to move them up 4 spots over a team that hasn't played but only has 1 loss. And that move them over a team that has beaten them because that 1 loss came against Texas.
So you're trying to tell me that the Louisville-Florida State game has nothing to do with the college playoff. You just don't even watch the game.
No.
Count them out.
No.
Count them out.
The Florida State and Louisville game does have an effect on all of the college playoffs.
Okay. Because if Louisville gets in, if Louisville beats Florida State, okay.
There's no way Louisville's going to get in. There's no way Louisville's going to jump 14 spots.
I didn't mean to say that. Louisville beats Florida State. The game earlier, we got Michigan beats Iowa, and we can get Bama beating UGA. And Texas beats Oklahoma State. Somebody's getting left out.
Well, you got to look at the picture. You got to look at the picture. You got Oregon that lost to Washington. That's going to drop Oregon out of number 5 spot. They're going to drop. Okay.
Oregon's gone.
If Florida State loses to Louisville, that's going to knock Florida State out of the number 4 spot.
They're gone.
So you got 2 spots open. So what should happen is number 6, Ohio State should move up to number 4 because they're at number 6, and Texas should move up. If Texas win, Texas should move up to that 4th spot because they were behind, and then Alabama will be left out. That's what it should happen.
The Ohio State moving up 2 spots to the 4. That was pretty sneaky how you pulled that off. Tell me that scenario again on how
I'm telling you. This is what happened.
Okay.
If Oregon lost, Ohio State moves up to number 5.
Okay.
Texas move up to number 6. Alabama will move up to number 8. If Florida State loses, that moves Ohio State up to number 4. That moves Texas up to number 5. So, but if Georgia loses, Georgia will probably be knocked down to number 2. Michigan moves up to number 1. Washington will stay at number 3, and then Ohio State should stay at number 4 because they haven't played nobody. But if Alabama wins the SEC title, they beat Georgia, Alabama's going to jump Texas, Ohio State. Even though Texas won their championship, if you want to go by championship basis, Texas should jump over Ohio State, and Texas should be the last spot team if they win.
If Texas win, I think Texas is in.
Right. If Ohio State loses, that's going to leave the spot for Alabama jumping over. If they beat Georgia, jumping over Ohio State, being up in that spot. Are they going to leave Washington out?
The only teams that need to win to get in, to me, is
Texas,
Bama, Texas, and Florida State.
Yeah,
they have to win.
Well, if this will all be all mute. If Florida State beats Louisville, they're undefeated still. So You're going to tell me that if Alabama beats Georgia, 11-1 team is going to beat out an undefeated team?
That's what I was saying. What they're doing to Florida State is just wrong based on the probability, the possibility of them not having their quarterback at 100%.
But that's not a factor. Injury. When the criteria came out for the college playoffs, they said injury does not affect the team.
You should have heard these morons talking about it. They've been talking about it all week about what's being done to Florida State. It's not right. I totally agree. It has no effect on it. It is a part.
I'm gonna tell you what. This is my opinion as a journalist. I will lose all respect for the NCAA if they tell me that 11-1 team, if Florida State stays undefeated, that all the undefeated teams are right there in the number 4 spots. If they don't play an undefeated team and keep all the undefeated teams in there, then this college football is rigged. And that's my heartfelt opinion.
We're pretty much to that point right now, Ray. I mean,
it's all rigged.
There's going to be a controversy today. I can feel one forming today.
This is what's going to happen. If Georgia loses to Alabama and Florida State wins, they're going to have a 2 SEC teams in there. It's going to be redundant. It's going to be it's SEC versus everybody else. Basically, that's what they're saying.
What if everybody wins though?
If everybody wins, it's a moot point.
There it is.
Alabama will stay out.
They out. Yep. Everybody wins.
Alabama's going to stay out or unless they're going to say, okay, Ohio State's a better team, even though Travis, that's wrong. You can't do that because the bylaw says in the championship playoffs, a injury does not affect the team's ability if they stay if they keep winning.
Yeah, because you got Washington's in, they already in. And then if Texas win, Michigan, somebody's gonna get left out.
If Georgia wins, Michigan wins, Washington wins, Florida State wins, there's no question. They all stay right there. Unless they kick Washington out.
Oh my God. That'll cause a riot. That'll cause an uproar. That'll be worse than co-champion and national championship.
You know what they do? You know what they do is they kick the Big Ten guys in there and they kick the ACC guy out and the Washington out. And if they do that, if they kick Washington out and Florida State out, and they put Alabama in and Ohio State in, that's gonna be wrong.
Well, the Big Ten should be in a very forgiving state due to everything that they did and did not do, whether they dotted their I's and crossed their T's during the investigation into the Harbaugh sign stealing situation. We have bigger concerns going on in the Big Ten, but they decided to put their attention on that. So I want to see how the Big Ten is going to stand through this whole process. I wish they do a live feed with the College Football Playoff Committee. I want to see inside that room. Because there better be some furniture moving. I want them to get into an argument. I want the wildest thing ever to happen.
That'd be great TV. It'd be great reality TV.
Yes, it'd be awesome. I want to see it I want to get to a point where everybody's arguing on who should be in and who should be out. I wanted to get that engaging.
And if you look at
the media and the fans.
If you look at the college polls, where ESPN does their polls, they tell you who's on the trend up, who's on the trend down. Texas, Alabama, and Missouri don't even have a trend up or a trend down. They just stay in the middle.
Right.
They're not trending. Penn State's trending up 1. Ole Miss is trending up 1. Oklahoma is trending up 1. LSU is trending up 1. Louisville's trending down 4. Ohio State's trending down 4. Or Oregon State's trending down 4. But if you're looking at the trends, they don't have no movement on the trend for either moving up or down for Texas, Alabama, or Missouri. So according to this, they have no ability to move up if they don't win. It's got to be a lot of things that happen. Florida State's got to be the team. It has to be a team if they lose.
If
give them that
beats Florida State, what if Iowa beats Michigan? If Iowa beats Michigan, that's when Ohio State gonna say, see?
No, because Michigan will be an 11-1 team, and Michigan beat Ohio State head-to-head.
Didn't that happen last year in one of the playoff situations last year? They lost earlier to somebody, then they ended up playing each other again.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who that was. I'm just trying to see how can there be a discussion outside of the box trying to get in from the Ohio State in the scenario.
There's no discussion for Ohio State. If Michigan loses, Michigan's going to still stay in there. Same way with Georgia. Those two teams are
locked. Them two can lose and still get in.
Yeah, them two are locked in there. It's the Washington and Florida State that the committee is going to probably shift and switch swag here. But you can't really do that because
what about Texas? What if Texas loses?
Yeah, that'd be a big loss if you lose number 18.
What about that? What if they all lose?
Well, Washington won't lose. Washington wins.
What if Oklahoma State? What if Texas loses?
All teams are playing them. Then that means
Iowa loses.
If that all happens, Washington will move up to number 1 because they'll be the only undefeated team left.
Right.
Georgia will probably be number 2. Michigan probably be number 3, and then that'll be up to discussion for number 4.
I think that's what I want to happen right there. That right there.
And number 4 will be that'll be the biggest discussion because Washington will move up number 1 because they're only undefeated team left. Georgia will probably move down 1 to number 2. Michigan probably move down to number 3, and then it'll be that 4th spot.
I wonder is anybody listening taking the whole underdog bet today on these games? If anybody out there laying any cash that's listening,
Vegas will one like that if all that happens.
I don't give a damn what Vegas like. I don't like the fact Vegas get all the damn sporting events, concerts, CSI shows, 24-hour strip club. They get all the fun stuff
because they don't have no law.
They just can do any damn thing in Vegas. They're just running wild in Vegas. They got a baseball team.
Then you got the Bunny Ranch outside of Vegas.
Is that still there? I thought it was gone.
I think so. Let me look it up. I think it's still there.
You can't be looking up porn on your laptop.
Let's see here. It opened in 1995.
It's still open?
Yeah, it's called the Moonlight Bunny Ranch.
Moonlight. What are the hours of operation?
24/7, 365 days. It's a party 24 hours, 7 days, 365 days at the Bunny Ranch. It means you can't go wrong at the place. Beautiful women, great drinks, and no pressure.
Next time I go to Vegas, I'm going to the Bunny Ranch. I'm going.
It's on 69. The address is called 69 Moonlight Carson. It's in Carson City. So let's see how far Carson City from Vegas.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Want to do a veterans road trip. Get a bunch of military.
If you go to Las Vegas and you're going to Carson City for this, you're going to travel 6 hours and 47 minutes.
6 hours?
Yeah, it's 430.9 miles outside of Las Vegas.
Damn. It looks
right by the
on TV.
It's right by the Sacramento and Carson City and Nevada border. It's near Sacramento. Yeah. Because Vegas is at the lower end of California, and then this Carson City is up at the upper end.
I'm taking Florida State. Either or.
I'm gonna take Florida State due to the fact that my wife likes Florida State, so I'm just gonna make a happy home.
What's the first game? The 11 o'clock game? Ohio State, Oklahoma State?
Yeah, 12 o'clock game is Texas and Oklahoma.
Okay,
State.
yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, we're about to get off here in 3 minutes.
Okay.
So, man, what we're gonna do the bowls, and once we get all the information, I'll let you know if what time we're gonna do it. But we will be back here next Saturday to talk about all the bowl games and the most game that is loved between me and Dre. Go Navy beat Army. We're gonna talk about the Army Navy game and what it meant to be on active duty during this time of the tradition of honoring game. Even though Air Force says their game is big as Army Navy is no comparison. Air Force is just left out. So their game is always never this big. But CBS hyped up this game back in the 80s. I remember watching this game as a kid in my living room, watching Army, Navy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always a game that was always on. My dad was an Army guy, so it was always
around Pearl Harbor Day. Always around that time.
Yeah, my dad actually fight in World War II. He got drafted, and
okay,
he was drafted. He the story he told us, he was sitting on a tractor and he seen the sedans come in. His dad told him to get off the tractor, go with the guys in the fancy cars. So,
well, this week I have going on December 5th would be my 7-year anniversary of podcasting.
you gonna do a 7-year anniversary show?
I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
All the best highlights of your show.
I'm gonna just do reminiscing, probably some stories on how it all started, shit like that. Nothing special.
And then you can do
I didn't realize it until Facebook told me.
And then you can do that one the last year of how you met me, and now you become a jokester and all kinds of area.
How you help me improve my game for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Stepped you up a little bit,
That is.
Brought you up to the forefront. Give you entertainment.
There it is.
You got the bat phone.
Get me out there. Hey, Apple, what's up?
So I even made you borrow the red phone,
Yes, sir. Okay.
Is that one of them dial-up kid phones?
No, it's just a headset to go to your cell phone. Just plug it into your cell phone. You can use a handpiece. So I use it when I'm in public. Feel like I'm important.
Nah, you know what that is? He missed the 80s where you had to use them phones like that.
I missed the 90s, not the 80s. The clothing in the 80s was horrific.
I know. Clothing in the 80s was when you wore a Idaho potato sack as your pants.
Ha! Ha! Ha!
Yeah, I did.
All right, but it's about kickoff.
Yep. So great to see you back on the show today. Great to have the show back up and running, even though we kind of messed up the season 3 areas with some health issues. But hopefully in the next season we'll bring it back strong and continue on through the postseason. And then we will always end our season with the live championship game talk about. If you want to join us there, we will be doing the national championship live game. Are you still up for that, Dre?
Yeah, for sure.
We'll do the live. And last time Dre was in a club.
Was that?
Yeah, you were at a sports bar.
Oh, I would not be doing that this year. No.
Because you kept freezing at certain angles. I thought you was like dancing.
Yeah, their Wi-Fi is not the best. But I did give me a hotspot. I did go and give me a hotspot. Yay!
I got one too.
Yay! So I'm gonna start doing a lot more remotes this summer.
So that means we can do some remote broadcasting. You got yours, I got mine. So when one runs out, we can put the other one on.
Boom.
How many gigabytes you got on yours? I got 50 on mine.
This is 128.
I got to see how much gigabytes I can increase mine to. I think AT&T only has 50.
Yeah.
I think I got the top level one.
Yeah, because I want to do more remotes, and I don't like using people's Wi-Fi's at a business. So majority of places I go to is bars and restaurants, and their Wi-Fi is usually fucked up. So.
Oh God. Okay. All right. So this has been the All Sports All Plays Network, the All Sports All Plays College Breakdown, the Queen Dre and the King Ray. We're good to go. He joined the Queen Wave. That's why I said it. He's doing his robot now. He's a robot.
This AI Dre.
He's back in the 80s when he do the robot dance. That's what Dre does. He does the robot dance on the dance floor, and girls like, what the freak is this guy doing? But he's awesome. So, but anyway, this has been a great show. I had a good time. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see y'all next Saturday at 9:00 to break down the Army-Navy game and talk about the bowls and our prediction for the bowl games and the national championship game. I am Ray. This is Dre. Thanks a lot. Peace out.
Peace out.
No. I ain't say peace out yet. All right, now say peace out.
Peace out.
Peace.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.